Darko says the quest. No rush. Don't worry, I won't rush. I will play the game at a leisurely pace. He wipes a splotch of dye from his elbow with his shirt mail. Something else you need. What's in the collapsed tower? It's collapsed. Nothing. He rolls his eyes and shrugs. A few hides on stretching racks and the tallow stench Dengler's always grumbling about. The rest of the keep's dust, just like the fool Lady Fainu who tried to hold it. There's a bard at the inn who'll tell you that... Right, okay, so we've already dealt with that. And just out of curiosity, let's see what he's got in his inventory. What does he sell? Okay, so it's just hide armor. Right. Girdle of mortal protection. Ooh. Trollhide belt. Regeneration. That might be kind of useful for a dare. Let's get that. Tank that can regenerate hit P. Hit P? A tank that can regenerate hit P. You know that famous attribute in the game, hit P? God, I fucking love hit P. Anyway, moving swiftly on. I don't think I want anything else. I mean, this is all exceptional quality, so it's a step up from what we're wearing at the minute. But it's all good. We'll upgrade once we find somewhere that sells like a wider range of stuff. Speaking of multiplayer, says Andor, Solasta has that too, and the only two downsides that I can think of are you have to skip the tutorial. Okay, so it's probably better to have a single player, well, at least part of a playthrough, if you're a new player then. And I cannot play Iron Man. Oh, you can't play Iron Man on... Oh, I suppose it would need to autosave regularly if it was multiplayer, right? So you wouldn't be able to enable Iron Man. Preferential, but I only did the one run with it on for the achieve. Oh, I see. I don't know. It seems like it's in a pretty good state. I mean, it's still in early access, right? It's not in full release yet, right? But then again, there's DLC coming out for it, so maybe it is out of early access. This is how naive I am to the game. Fraser, good day. Greetings, my lord. What a lovely shirt you're wearing. Is that linen? It is a, is it made of wool or is it like a blend? It's a little jumper I got. I think I've worn it for like 3 or 4 streams in the past week. It's the warmest jumper I have right now, and since winter is not coming, it is here. I need it. Was that your peasant voice? Yeah, I think so. Like a little, oh, good day, my lord. How you doing, sir? Oh, Mr. Frodo. Something like that. I think that's the go-to peasant voice. Right. So, I missed the ridiculous shirts. The ridiculous shirts were a good time, but the problem is with the ridiculous shirts, a lot of them had green in them. And so part of my shirts was invisible on the green screen. Maybe I'll get some more shit shirts at some point. Maybe in summer. Get some shit shirts in summer. For the time being, it is way too cold here to wear shit shirts. I mean, I think we're at, let me double check. We're at 5 degrees outside. But it feels much colder because we literally have like, oh god, all the wind coming in from the coast. Well, coming in from the sea specifically, and battering us. So it feels a lot colder than 5 degrees. Full release was May last year. Jeez. Oh, they didn't have early access? I'm completely misremembering that then. I thought that they had early access and that they were in early access for a little while. I'm probably totally wrong with that. Like I say, I'm really naive to Solasta. It's just not something that I've looked into, even though it's something that would probably fit me really well. I didn't know you could do such a bright teen voice. Oh, is my peasant voice really bright and teen-like? I'm glad to hear it. Maybe I can actually prove that I'm somewhat youthful, despite my decrepitness. You're in awe. Right. Let's exit out of this. Trollhide belt can go on you. Okay. You know something? Actually, now that I've seen Andor's name, it's reminded me. Anyone watching? Is anyone watching Andor on Disney Plus? If so, what are you thinking so far? I'm really enjoying it. I actually think it's probably one of the best Star Wars anythings that's been out for a while. A long while. Yeah, I'm liking it. I think it's pretty good. I thought the latest episode was pretty damn good as well. Although, like, it is definitely a little bit slow, but I think that's kind of required with the story they're trying to tell. But yeah. pills here. Oh, you know what? Technically, I have taken the majority of my pills, but I have one that I haven't taken. I haven't taken, should I say. Thank you, Free. Guys, this is a quick lesson for you. If you come into the stream, it is mandatory that you remind me to take my pills, because God knows I forget very often. Very often. So this is called the Couriers, but I thought, is this not like a tanner's? Is that not what they're doing here? Tanning leather? And creating leather? We watched most of the Cyberpunk anime yesterday. It's pretty solid, 8 out of 10. Yeah, I've been thinking I might give it a go. Ooh, stay out of my private quarters. That goes for you and Haron's bootlickers. Yeah? No, I will not do it. I refuse. I am entering. What are you... Effigy's eyes! Siobhan, stop him! He raises his axe, rage in his eyes. You, sir, must die. Die. Okay, let's go ahead and turn his friend against him. And, you know what? Everyone else, just sick him. Just sick him. Let's do that. And why don't we go ahead and get one of these off on you. Try a knockdown as well. Well, that almost seemed unfair. Now we just need to wait for his friend to turn on us, and then we can kill her too. There we go. Boy, oh boy. Well, there I go, killing potentially innocent people again. I don't know. I feel like they're bad guys. I feel like they are the enemy. Your first anime? It's a good one to start with. Is it like even for someone who doesn't like watch anime, is it a good call, do you think? What's in here? Oh yeah, this is the journal of the guy that is apparently being possessed by Skane, or wants to be possessed by Skane, who I believe is a god. I watched it all in one day, says Andor. And when I went to... Oh, all in one day when you went to visit your sister last week. I agree with your assessment of the score. Sis would probably give it a notch or two lower. Do we think it could be like a... I mean, it's so annoying that it's not on Prime Video, because if it was on Prime Video, we could do a watch party and I could literally sit and give you my honest reactions to it on stream. Unfortunately, it's not the case. That is not the case. We should probably rest. This is just dawning on me. We've only got 2 supplies, but let's go ahead and rest. Get those spell slots back. Discord watch parties are a thing, though. I could get in some pretty spicy trouble, though. I think if I start like streaming Netflix shows, you know, especially because it's set up as a like the actual Discord server is now listed as like an official community server. So it's like if it was still set as a private server, I might be able to get away with it, you know. But I don't really want to risk it. Darko did a few. It can get crowded. I think if I was going to do a watch party on like something other than Twitch, I would literally be treating it exactly like a Twitch stream, you know. Like I'd probably make it so all mics are muted besides mine, just because otherwise it's I have no interest in sitting and trying to watch something with like 10 people talking over it. I was unawares that it had progressed that far. Congrats. Yeah, thank you, Andor. Yeah, we did that. We activated it as an official server. I want to say like maybe a month. No, probably like 2 months ago. It's not large enough to be like official, but it is large enough to meet the requirements for, I don't know what they've added. I think there's like, we have access to like statistics and stuff like that. Not that that's of much use to me at this point, but hey, it's something, right? You feel a presence hovering nearby. When you turn, you see the grieving mother observing you. Concern crinkles the corners of her eyes and seeps into your mind. You wear a coal of your own, Watcher. I see you shrouded by old lives and unanswered questions. Can you see any details of my past lives? She closes her eyes and you feel her energy directed inwards towards you. Or at you, sorry. She searches your mind. Your memories and parts of you feel numb and still. She is as gentle as a mother with a newborn. Finally, she retreats. I'm sorry. Whatever secrets your soul hides are not present in your mind. Well, they are my burdens. I would not wish to share them. She flickers, hazy and insubstantial in your vision. I have no desire to intrude, only to aid and strengthen you, that you might in turn heal the Dyrwood. Dyrwood. This is why we journey together, that one may draw strength from many, and that much may be mended by the purpose of one. As she peers at you, her brow seems creased with a new kind of anxiety. Your obscure past, does it trouble you? I mean, honestly, yes. I don't know what's in there, and that does trouble me. Take care, Watcher. Do not let the unknown chapters of your soul thwart your present endeavors. You must fortify your mind and find clarity in your purpose. That's wise words from a grieving mother. Grieving mother is a hottie, says Hax. She's got kind of that gothic vibe, you know. I can dig the gothic vibe. Maybe you're a newborn. Maybe I am just a newborn baby walking around in a grown man's skin. I mean, that's what it feels like IRL. You know, she's just emo. We were all emo at one point. She retreats from you, fading into the background. If you did not already know she was there, you suspect you wouldn't notice her at all. She's sneaky as fuck. Sexy goth chick. If you ignore the that's a good point. You have to ignore the 1,000-yard stare that she has. It's been a while since I asked this episode one of this run, maybe even. So I'll inquire once more. How are you digging the lore in this setting? I am really enjoying it. I don't know. It reminds me a little bit of Wheel of Time. Like some things nod towards that, although I can't claim to be any expert on the Wheel of Time series. I've only read like the first book and part of the second book. But I'm enjoying it. And Josh made a good point the other day. He compared it to, what's the series called? The movie was called The Golden Compass, and then they did a TV series based on it as well. I can't think what it's called off the top of my head. Kanar is clearly the best looking though. Kanar is an absolute chad, okay? Positivity in the face of any worry. There we go. Thank you, Josh. Josh arrives in the nick of time. His dark materials, that's it. I like to think that Josh is just always here. He's always present, you know? He's got, he could very well be the president of some far-flung nation, but he has the stream open. He has the stream open at all times. He keeps a watchful eye on us all. He keeps us safe. He keeps us secret. That's all we can ask. If that's a small beetle, I hope you never meet a big dog or a hippo in the game. Oh jeez. We're like borrowers, aren't we? We're like is it The Borrowers? Is that the right movie? Am I thinking of the right movie, guys? The Borrowers? I don't know if I am. I think it had John Goodman in it. Or was it Robbie Coltrane? No, it was John Goodman, I think. Fairly certain. That did not work as well as I thought it would. Still okay, though. Borrowers is right. The Tiny People, right? Yeah, wasn't it? Was it based on a book? I think. Willow had tiny people in it too. Willow? Is that the creepy one? Let me... I know I'm getting sidetracked again, but like, you guys should be used to this by now. Willow movie. No, that is not what I'm thinking of. With what's his name? Val Kilmer. That Willow? Are you talking about the Val Kilmer Willow, Fraser? Because that is not the movie I'm thinking of. Yeah? This has little people in it? And when you say little people, do you mean like people suffering from dwarfism, or do you mean is it? Yes, you do. That there is Warwick Davis is right there. Of course, that's what you meant. I mean like people like yay big, okay? I mean like borrower-sized people. Based on a book. There's also an anime by Studio Ghibli based off the same book. What's the anime called? Oh. I'm being sent a link. Yes, John Goodman was in it. That is exactly what I was thinking of. Little people, big trouble, lots of fun. Ding dang dong. Was not thinking of Willow. It's a good adventure movie. It features Warwick Davis, so that kind of puts me off. I don't like Warwick Davis. I think he's kind of an arse. The Secret World of Arrietty is the Ghibli movie. Secret. Huh. I wonder if that's on Netflix. If it's on Netflix, I might give it a watch because I actually quite enjoy Ghibli. Don't discriminate my movie just because the little people in it are bigger than the ones in your movie, Kessler. my little people are smaller than your little people.
I'll give it a try, at least. As requested.
That's convenient. Some more camping supplies. We're all good there. What about building? Have we finished the construction? No, 2 days and 3 hours. Oh, it is on Netflix? Fantastic. Fantastic. You haven't seen it, but you don't think it has the same chaotic spirit? Yeah, I feel like a Ghibli movie probably couldn't have the same sort of like chaos as what I remember that movie to be. Maybe I'll watch Arrietty and then I'll watch The Borrowers and I'll see what the differences are. I'll do a review and I'll film it and I'll put it on YouTube. I am also a small person. I am merely 6 feet tall. I mean, in no world is 6 feet tall small, but at the end of the day, my perception is a little skewed. Isn't Safety Dance from Willow? Wait. Really? The Safety Dance music video is from Willow? I mean, that makes sense in my head because there is a small person in the Safety Dance music video, and they do seem to dress like some sort of fantasy, like they exist in some sort of fantasy world. So like in my mind that is a possibility, but it's like I'm suspicious of that information. Oh shit, they actually burrow. I don't know if I've seen them do that before. Have I seen them do that before? I'm asking you guys because you probably have a better memory than me. Let's go with a good old... No. Let's do that. Wait for them to actually get into some sort of range. There we go. Knock down that one. You two focus on that one. Let's go ahead and even things out a little bit with that.
That's not very helpful.
I'm 5'1". Luckily, you're only a dwarf if you're below 4'10". See, I feel like that's like 5'1" is short. It's got to be said, 5'1" is short. But I feel like 4'10" is too tall for like to be classed as a dwarf. Like I feel like 4'10" is, you know, still within the realms of like, oh, that is a short person, but not like a really short person.
This thing isn't doing the job.
Isn't Borrowers just the name for the Japanese version of the movie? I think it's Darko. I think it's the Western version is like the Western version is definitely Borrowers because it's the one with John Goodman. But is Borrowers just the? Is Borrowers just? I mean, which is here's the question. Here's the real question. which is closer to the book title, The Borrowers or the Arrietty title? And if someone could tell me what Arrietty actually means, that would be you know, appreciated. I agree, Cass. 4'10" doesn't sound that short. I mean, it's almost like, I don't know. It is short to me. 4'10" is short to me because at the end of the day, someone who's 4'10" would probably be like just above my belly button. No, of course they wouldn't. They would be up to like. They wouldn't quite be as high as my nipples. I don't think, off the top of my head. I think there was a BBC series too, if I'm not mistaken. A Borrower's BBC series? Interesting. Is that like, was it like Hobbit style BBC series? You know, like the old animated Hobbit series? It was a 1952 novel called The Borrowers. It does say Arrietty is based on the book also, so I guess it must be fairly similar plot-wise. Yeah, what I meant was like which is closer to like the book in terms of title. So obviously Borrowers is the closest. Oh, where's someone has a basement and oh my god. Oh wait, no. Do they have a basement or is this just the old town or the old fort that was built atop? Did you say Hobbit style BBC? I mean, I'm amazed. Wait, I can't tell if you're joking or not. Yeah, there is a Hobbit, there is a BBC Hobbit thing that was made like back in, was it the 60s? BBC Hobbit. BBC radio dramatization. I don't think it's the radio one. I think it's, or maybe it is the radio one I'm thinking of. But there was an animated one as well. Maybe that was maybe it was animated from the radio dramatization. I don't know. That's one for you guys to check out. It's got Bilbo Baggins in it. Bagginses. You know what BBC stands for other than the meaning you were referring to, right? Yeah, no, I do. It's just like, I do know what it stands for. That's why I said, like, I don't know if you're joking or not. I didn't know if you were in awe that the BBC did a Hobbit thing, or if, you know, you were just referencing Big Black Cock. And I'm assuming you are indeed referencing Big Black Cock. So yeah. Even in that old series, the girl is called Arrietty. Oh, so Arrietty is a character within it then? Big Bald Chicken? Oh, shit. I should have said something like that. I should have kept my innocence. I'm in awe. My head is thinking in pictures, and I had a funny picture in mind when you said Hobbit-style BBC. Well, I mean, Lenny Henry played a Harfoot in Rings of Power, right? Or Ring of Power. So, I mean, yeah. A Hobbit BBC. Totally plausible. Totally plausible. Anyway. Oh, hello. Ah, Skane Cultist. Here we go. There are indeed cultists, and it looks like we do have a temple down here. Okay. Let's see. The plot thickens. Right, another interdiction, I believe. Actually, let's move that a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Let's go ahead and let's... I don't want him casting spells on me. So we'll do that. And we will do that. You, sir, will knock him down. You will go for him. You will go for him. I think that's everything. Why aren't they dying? They're on 0 hit points. Is it the cultist keeping them alive? Oh yikes! This could be spicy. Oh no! Oh dear! Guys, you all need to focus on the... Wait, why are you stuck there? You can clearly get in. God. You know, I know we've said that the pathfinding in this is not as bad as the pathfinding in Pathfinder. but at times it is worse. I've got to say, it's not all the time, but there are times where it is much worse. Like him being stuck there when he has a clear path to move is kind of ridiculous. Temple fanatic, but they're underground, so not much temple about them. There could be a temple down here. There could be a temple down here. I mean, there probably is. Let's face it. The cultist keeps them alive. I'm starting to think that's the case. Right. What about now? Aha, okay. There we go. Now they're dying. Ooh. Oh, shit. We alerted the sentry.
That's it.
Okay. Pathfinding and Pathfinder got me there. Can't be as bad as Pathfinding in the Baldur's Gate series. It's just oof. It's been so long since I've played those. Moving swiftly on. It's been so long since I played those games that I honestly do not remember. Like, I remember games through such rose-tinted spectacles. Like, it's like when you go back to a game you played years ago and you're like, oh, I remember this game looking so good. Like, I remember what it looked like, and then the game starts and you're like, no, you didn't look like this. What has time done to you? You didn't look like this. You looked magnificent last time I saw you. You know? It's kind of like that. This game is solid except for the last act, says Veldraxis. Veldraxis, welcome to the stream. The last act? Ding dang damn. Well, I mean, we're avoiding spoilers, but I'm definitely going to keep my eyes open for shitty things happening in the last act now. By the way, the chest is trapped. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know, Frey. Deciding to play Baldur's Gate again, and OMG, AD&D was a mistake. Advanced D&D was a mistake. I don't even remember the rules. Like I say, it's been so long since I played those initial 2 games. Well, 2 games in DLC, right? I think there was a DLC for the first one. Possibly. Might be wrong there. But yeah, it's been so long since I played, I honestly couldn't comment. But one of the things that I remember irritated me is the whole, like, oh, fudge. The dice rolling mechanic. Fuck. For like rolling your stats right at the start. That always bothered me a little bit. Just because, like, I don't know, it didn't feel very fluid. Like rolling every single one of them at the same time. That's a very minor complaint, though. Very minor complaint. Right. Let's go ahead and... Who do we want? Let's go ahead and get the cultist. No. No, we need to take the cultist out to get rid of them. Right. Let's go with that one.
Your thoughts must
Probably get this out there as well.
flow deep.
There we go. Wonderful. Right. Get one of these out. Boom. Oh boy, this might actually be a pretty tough one. Is the cultist down? The cultist is down, it looks like. Yikes, Kanar's taking a beating. I don't even have Kanar selected. I could swear I clicked on him there. Apparently I did not. Yikes. Is that a dare at the back, or is that... Fuck. Who is that at the back? Oh, it's one of the temple guards. Yikes. Okay. To hit armor class 0? No? I don't remember that. Armor class 0? Wait, armor class 0? That was a thing? I have no memory of that. I rolled 18 in every stat. You got fucking lucky. Good God. Like I say, it's been so long since I played those games. I really am. Like, I have to be careful what I say because I think I would just end up talking out of my arse. Which is to say, I don't remember. AC was going into negative back then? Was it Advanced D&D went negative with AC? I don't remember that. I mean, I never played the tabletop Advanced D&D, so I wouldn't know. Baldur's Gate would have been my only experience with it. That was pretty costly for Kanai, I have to say. Baldur's Gate 2 is my favourite RPG, says Vildraxis. I would recommend anyone to play it who's vaguely interested in that sort of thing. Yeah, I'm really excited for the third one coming out. 1 and 2, I have, like... I've said this in the past when we've discussed them. I have, like, the memory of enjoying them. I just don't remember why I enjoyed them. I have said that, like, it might be worth replaying them prior to Free's release. Because I don't know, guys. I feel like there's gonna be some sort of tie-in between the first 2 games and the third. I know that it seems as though, like what we've seen so far, it seems as though there's no possible link between the previous 2 games and the third game. But I don't think a studio like Larian would take the Baldur's Gate franchise and call it Baldur's Gate 3 if there wasn't some sort of tie-in. If they were going to do a Baldur's Gate game and they weren't going to tie it in at all, I think they would just call it Baldur's Gate and then a subtitle, you know? I don't think they would continue with the into a trilogy if it didn't have some sort of tie-in. And I mean, with that being said, I did notice when we were playing it the other night that there was like a pendant for a pendant of Baal. It looked as though the Illithid on the Nautiloid that you start on had like abducted some Baal cultists, or cultists of Baal, should I say? Oh, that was the equivalent of attack bonus? Huh. I never played the original Baldur's Gate games, says Selby, but most people have said they're a bit too old to play now. I think it depends. Like, if you're someone who can happily go and play, like, older games and, like, you know, it doesn't really bother you, the graphics and whatnot, then I think they're probably solid games to try because, I mean, guys, how many times have we sat and talked about old school RPGs like Baldur's Gate? And some of you have, like, made comments about things like Planescape Torment and Neverwinter and, like, all those, you know, sort of, all those, like, old school games that we obviously played when we were younger. For some of us, we were very young. For some of us, we were not so young, but still younger than we are now. But yeah, they always come back up, don't they? And part of it is nostalgia, but part of it is because I think they were very solid games for the time. I mean, if you don't really care about graphics, then like I don't think it matters. I think you could probably try replaying them. Like what you can probably pick them up for like £3 at this point, right? Or like $4 or something like that. Graphics don't bother me. It's mostly about the UI for me, I guess, and clunkiness. I mean, there's a good chance. I mean, we've already seen, you know, the discussion there about the pathfinding in the games. They are probably no doubt clunky, but I don't know. It's a labor of love, I suppose. Oh shit! Have we been hit by it? Yeah, we have. Okay. Okay, so let's just wait for the combat effect to wear off. There we go. Pistol, 2 rods, cultist robes, padded armor. Okay, take all that. Oh, but wait, there's more. Oh god, and even more. God, this place is a treasure trove. I would disagree. The isometric graphics look pretty good, and the game mechanics are functional, even for the D&D artifacts. The lore and writing are the best parts of it. See, I would honestly say that with those first Baldur's, I really don't think they're too far flung from this sort of art style here. Like, I know this looks more updated, it looks more polished, it looks modern, so to speak, but I don't think it's too far from it, you know? I don't think it's that far from it. As for clunkiness, I mean, that remains to be seen. Without sitting and playing through them, I couldn't comment. However, I feel like it's pretty well established. Like, so many people rant and rave about the writing and the lore of the first 2 games. I have to say, like, guys, here's a question. Which do you prefer? If you've played them, 1 or 2? 1 or 2? I mean, I know where Veldraxis stands. Standing firmly on 2. I feel like I've heard better things about 2 than I have about 1. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm semi-AFK, making early dinner. Early dinner? Are you having more chicken and potatoes? No gravy, because gravy bad in the Fraser household? This place looks like an old mine. Less like a temple and more like some sort of old mine. Although with this being said, I don't actually know what Skane is the god of. Is it the god of death? Because these look like death godlike. Possibly. Or maybe they're just cultists wearing hoods. Defo 2. Baldur's Gate 2 is one of the CRPG's greats. See, I feel like whenever I discuss whenever Baldur's Gate comes up in conversation, I feel like people always lump them together. You know, like Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. And they talk about them almost like they're the same game. Maybe that's because essentially they are both so like intrinsically tied, you know? Like I know obviously if you're telling a story across multiple games, of course they're going to be tied together. The story's, you know, a continuation, duh, but I feel as though it's more than that with Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. Is it not? Like, they seem so closely tied together, it's almost like 2 was a direct continuation, if not like a incredibly large DLC for 1. Maybe I'm misremembering it. Maybe I should fact check that. But, I feel like that's like one of the things that I've heard discussed in the past. Let's... You know what? No, let's go ahead and use one of the higher levels. Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, the first game where one could import their save from the first to the sequel and continue to play as the same character. Wait, let me reread that. Was Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 the first game where... That's a good point, actually. Was it the first game? You know, I feel like that might be right, because I feel like I've heard someone talk about how they bought the... I feel like I've heard someone talk about, like, the joy that they felt from buying those discs back in the day, playing the first one, and then when the second one came out, buying it, playing it, and then being able to carry the files over, like to import their character and continue. Maybe that's why there's so much of a tie between the two, bar it just being the same storyline and the same, you know, I mean, not trilogy, but you know what I mean, IP. Maybe that's where the sense of it being like oh, I just missed a book there, didn't I? Or a journal. Maybe that's where the sense of it being like almost like an extended, we've already read that one, like an extended DLC sort of thing. Fucking rugby is on? Who's playing? Don't even know. Boyfriend keeps singing all the national anthems as loud as humanly possible. What, all the national anthems? Like not just our own, but like every nation's national anthem? Jesus Christ. That's an impressive skill to have, not a skill, but an impressive piece of knowledge to like just know all of the nation's anthems. I mean, like I don't even know if I know our national anthem. I'm not really a patriot. Is that it? No, that looks like... Yeah, that's from the tower. Where oh where did it go? Is that it? Final... Are they just the same book? I think they are, aren't they? So obviously this is important in some way because they've placed 2 copies of it. He had 2 final journals. So which one is not which one is the real final journal? You know? Which one did he write last? Probably part of the reason why lots of purists are not inclined to call Baldur's Gate 3 a true sequel to the series. I mean, I've got to say, personally, I don't mind it not being a true sequel. I'm happy to play through it as a new character and a new story, but I would like there to be some sort of tie, even if it's some sort of side quest that ties in like the cultists of Baal to the, I don't know, the story that they're wishing to tell in the new game. Most of the UK-based ones, I guess. It's Ireland versus Fiji. I didn't know they were playing today. Shows how terrible of, like, well, I mean, I don't really watch sports anymore, but you know. In fairness, I can't really tell from his singing whether he does know the words. You don't need to know the words sometimes. Sometimes you can just yell out whatever you want, and it's pure spirit that counts, you know? Like Nirvana wrote the song about it, right? Like Smells Like Teen Spirit. Everyone knows it's all about the spirit that you present. Doesn't matter if you know the words. This is probably trapped, right? Oh, no, maybe not. List of names? This creased sheet of paper contains a list of names. Some have been crossed off. Edith. Leaves window open at night. Small house on the edge of Kindle Vale. Higerto. Visiting from Old Valia. Doesn't speak Adiran. Keeps to himself. Won't be missed. Tearfaced? Tyrford. Lives in small encampment on road to Loghome. Takes solitary walks each morning at sunrise. Should be most vulnerable then. Can't fucking speak today. Belmis. His parents leave him alone after temple services each Goddendag. Senlis. Visits a mistress at Balereach every third Folkstag. Get him on the road. Check Gilded Vale and Andra's Gift. May find more interested parties there. Ooh, yikes. Okay, so who was in Gilded Vale that might have been with these guys? I don't know right now. We might connect that at a later date. It was such a great journey. You start off as a level 1 whelp in Baldur's Gate 1 and eventually make it to level 7 or thereabouts. You never feel OP, but by the end of TOB? TOB, is that one of the like the fucking, was it DLC or am I thinking totally off? Ah, Throne of Baal. Okay. Expansion pack. Wait, Siege of Dragonspear. Oh, okay. Siege of Dragonspear is an expansion pack for the role-playing video game Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition. Right, okay. So was Siege of Dragonspear not initially, like, an expansion pack? I feel like it was. The expansion is the first new original content to the Baldur's Gate series released after more than 10 years. Shit, so it wasn't original. It was added afterwards. Wow. It takes place between the events of Baldur's Gate and Baldur's Gate 2 Shadows of Am. Okay, so Siege of Dragonspear is basically like a prequel to 2 and a sequel to, I suppose, 1. It received backlash from some consumers who criticized the general quality of the writing in the introduction. Oh, okay, fair enough. Wow, we are. A little bit of backlash there. I'm sure they will link Baldur's Gate 3 to the previous game, so let me go ahead and make my chat a little bit bigger, because I'm struggling to... Things keep getting washed away through time. There we go. The Divinity Sin games seemed consistent with the lore of their original games from 20 years ago. The only thing that I can think of being an issue is that, like, I'm fairly certain the team that worked on Divinity Original Sin and Divinity Original Sin 2 were, for the most part, the same team that worked on the original Divinity games, right? I feel, or at least, like, had the core members there. I think. Might be misremembering that, but I think that's right. Whereas with Baldur's Gate 3, none of them worked on it, I don't think, right? I don't think any of them worked on it. I think it's like an entirely new team just purely based on Larian stuff with no, like, veterans of the series. Siege of Dragonspear kind of bridges the gap between 1 and 2. It's not as bad as people claim it is. Honestly, Hacks, I don't think it would be. I think there's a lot of... as far as reviews go, a lot of the time, I have to say I tend to be inclined towards going with the old chestnut of, you know, the angriest voices are often the most loudest. I tend to take like reviews with a pinch of salt, regardless of whether or not they're from the consumer or like IGN, GameStop, etc. But yeah, the torture rack is spattered in blood and gouged by fingernails. I think Skane must be the god of death. Or maybe not death, but I don't know, like torture? Really don't know. Oh, okay.
As requested.
Huzzah. That could have been bad. Right, 2 pearls. 75 copper. Yeah, I just mean lore consistency seems important to them. Oh, right, okay, I'm with you. I thought you meant as in like because the team of have that experience with the series. But it makes it more likely to be a good one. I mean, obviously this is where we need to go, but I kind of want to clear this entire floor first. There might be good loot up here, guys. That's a lot of boys. That is a lot of boys. Could we hit them with could we hit them with the big old fireball? Maybe try and get this guy. Or these guys, should I say. Let's try and do that. Oh, you don't have enough. You don't have enough folk. Oh no, wait, it's only in combat. That's annoying. You can't turn them before combat. Oh well. Okay, let's do this. Boom, worked like a charm. Although I did take a bit of a beating there, yikes. Kess, the link between the old Baldur's Gate games and Baldur's Gate 3 is apparently a tabletop campaign called Descent into Avernus. Wait, Descent into Avernus links Baldur's Gate, the original games, to Baldur's Gate 3? What? I don't remember, like, I haven't played through Descent into Avernus, sorry. I haven't played through that module, but I don't remember ever hearing any mention of, like, the original Baldur's Gate games in that, like, module. That seems really dumb if that's the case. But then again, I suppose that's the sort of franchising that we'll see from Wizards of the Coast. Oh yeah, you want to make another Baldur's Gate game? Of course, but you must try and sell our tabletop module. Did anyone ever play Icewind Dale 1 and 2? They came out about the same time as Baldur's Gate, but didn't receive the same amount of praise. I actually think we've talked about Icewind Dale before, guys. Any of you guys played it? I've already said, I believe, do I own the... Let me tab out and check. Is it the first one I own? Enhanced Edition or something like that? I own the Enhanced Edition. Is that just the first game, or did that come with... I think it's just the first game, right? The Enhanced Edition. But either way, I'm yet to play it. It's another one of those CRPGs that I'm really wanting to maybe dive into at some point. Another one to add to the ever increasing list that we have. No, but I think I own them on GOG. I certainly did. I can't remember Icewind Dale 2 too well, though. Icewind Dale 2's source code is forever lost, apparently. Wait, what? How come? Did the company, like, destroy all the archives, destroy everything? Did they purge all information? Or was it lost in some sort of tragic video game industry espionage? Right, now you can actually start to be useful, I think. Let's go ahead and pop you there to do that. Where do we want to go? Let's go one of those. Lovely. Right, where have I gotten off to? I'm over there with Kanara. You are there. Let's go ahead and activate that. I didn't like it as well as the first one, although I remember it being about demon siblings. Interesting. Is it similar to Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, where the same stories essentially continued throughout throughout the games, or do you play entirely different entities in the second game? It just got lost somehow, so that's the excuse for no Icewind Dale 2 Enhanced Edition. Ugh, that sucks. I mean, is there like any modding community for Icewind Dale 2? Like, have they tried to, I don't know, like remaster it in some way? You know, like you see all of these, like, I don't know, like Morrowind remasters and things like that. The modding community there has produced. Has there been any like outsider attempt to remaster the game or enhance it in any way? Very loud status effects. Or spell effects, should I say. You need to heal, sir. Am I suffering from... Am I poisoned? Yeah, poisoned. Yikes. Okay, let's get some healing in here then. Let's just go level 1 for now. I might go down here. It's certainly looking that way. That poisoned effect, I think it's that that's doing loads of damage. Let me just quickly check the log. Oh no, Mindbreakers do it. Shit, 40 damage in one go. That is big dick energy. Wow, we are. Is he hitting like that, like generally speaking, or is that like a one-off? I mean, for long enough he was fighting for us, so maybe not such a problem. But I'll have to keep that in mind. The Mindbreakers are pretty spicy. So that's... oh no, that's a cultist. Okay. The story is different, as I recall. I don't want to spoil it, but there's a thematic similarity at least. I appreciate you not spoiling it, because I very well might dive into it at some point. So there's some sort of ongoing theme across the two, but it's like a different ensemble of characters. Okay, sounds interesting. I think there's a few mods on the Nexus. Like, if I'm going to play at some point, I might take a look into the mods and see like if there is anyone out there that has tried enhancing it or remastering it, or I don't know, just giving it a new lick of paint, you know? I am down. I think that was always going to happen. I was taking such a beating there, and that poison effect seemed to be pretty fucking nasty. Okay, you can't really do anything, but let's go ahead and try to take a sight. Okay. The Skelly Bobs saved the day, apparently.
They shall see nothing while I see much.
And I think after that we might need to take another rest. Oh, I will take your cheese. I'll take it all. And all your money as well. Ha ha ha. A man in bloody robes lies dead upon the table. A heavy crust of blood surrounds his mouth and eyes. I am starting to think that this is just the god of torture, or something like that. Oh, that will definitely come in handy. Icewind Dale is now 139th on the list of games to play. I mean, do I need to count these up again? There was Neverwinter, so there's two Neverwinter games, so that's 2. Planescape Torment, 3. Dragon Age, there's 3 of those so far. There will be a 4th, so that's 4, 5, 6, 7. Fable, 8, 9, 10. City Skylines was on there. 11. Baldur's Gate 3, that's, yep, 12. But then again, we might play Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, in which case it's 14. And then Valheim for good measure. So 15 games on the list so far, and that's on top of Pillars of Eternity and Deadfire. Yeah, maybe I'll get through all those games one day, guys. Maybe one day. And now we're adding Icewind Dale 1, and, well, Enhanced Edition, and then maybe 2? Possibly? See what we can do with it. One of the issues I've had with playing some of those older games is it's nothing to do with them, my enjoyment of them. It's normally because, like for instance, when I tried to play Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, both the first game and the Sith Lords, because the first game wouldn't work at all. It was not streamable on my machine.
I think I see something.
And the second game was streamable, but for some reason the output on the stream would only come out at like 1 frame every like every like 5 seconds. It was really bad. I just don't think that you can't disarm. No, I do not wish to trigger it. Oh, that's not good. Okay, well, I think we're going to leave that for now. Maybe we should take a little rest here, because you are not looking so good at all. Ooh, Skanite Scripture. Burn, feel thy hatred twist within thee. Feed thyself on its bile, sustain thyself on its anger. This hatred, this bile, this anger, these shall be the tools for thy rebellion. Rebel against those who seek to control thee. Rebel against those that wish to remove thee. So they're anarchists, is what we're learning. Yikes. Do I want to... Let's just take a little sneak peek. Oh, yep, no, we are going to take a rest. Yeah, we are going to take a rest. Let's do it. So, you can... Oh, 2 points... Well, I say 2 points. 2 levels, shall we say, of survival off of getting damage reduction 2. Yikes, we need to... Oh, boy, it's only Adair that actually has damage reduction 2 in this party. Or in this comp, at least. Okay. I mean, I don't really worry about it so much with, like, backliners. But then again, Durance has a habit of getting himself into sticky situations. So maybe we should be giving Durance some survival as well. Okay. What are the chances that I can disarm the trap now? Never mind. Right. Onwards we go. Oh, where are you going? Hope he's not going to get more friends. That would be a bad time for all. Actually, no, that's a bad call. Let's have Adair tackle them head on. We will go for that one. Wait. Did I misread that? No, I did not. Okay. Let's go with the cultist. That's the sentry. That's not the cultist. Never mind.
Aye?
Come on, guys. Come on. Oh my god, you're getting in the way. You're getting in the way. Big time. Big time getting in the way. Oh boy. Kanar, is this the end? Is this the end, Kanar? It could be. We need to take out that. Okay, the cultist is down. So now we can start actually taking them out. Seems to be the way it works. Oh wow, your party actually looks the same as my first party. I just remembered. I have been playing around with a few different compositions. I'm kind of like first playthrough. I want to play with as many of the companions in the party as I can. Try them all out, see what the strengths are. We switched out Sagani for Grieving Mother purely because I have no idea how ciphers actually work, and I kind of want to try and learn and see what they're actually good at. Seems to be the case that they're kind of OP. They're kind of fun. I'm enjoying having her in the party so far. But yeah, it's freshening things up a little bit, that's for sure. Maybe that's normal. I think... I want to say that I'm probably going to have Adair and Alof in the party most of the time. I really enjoy the party banter that they've been having. I think they fill their roles quite well. You know, I've got Adair focusing on being the main tank. Alof is DPS range, obviously. You know, blaster. I think they fit those roles quite well. When we played Pathfinder, we had like 40 plus custom characters, which was a bit of a nightmare, so we decided to stick with the canon characters this time. We did indeed. We had 40 plus community members characters in that game. It was an absolute nightmare. I was forewarned with this game to just stick to the pre-written companions and enjoy their personal storylines, which I am. Cannot go wrong with double Matt Mercer. Listen, Andor, the most confusing part of it so far is that Adair, Matt Mercer as Adair, has the hots for Isilmir. Matt Mercer as Isilmir, who is possessing Matt Mercer as Alof. It's fucking with my mind a little bit, but you know, I'm all for it. Matt Mercer on Matt Mercer sounds like a good party to me. Pathfinder DLC is the one. Yeah, I know, Hacks. I know. That is actually, we were talking about what I would be doing, like if I would be going straight onto Deadfire after I've done Pillars of Eternity 1. I did reference the fact that we might be doing some of the Pathfinder DLC in between. So maybe we can have a little anniversary, I don't know, anniversary of the Crusade sort of thing. I still think you should make Craps Crad though. We can create his personal storyline. Craps Crad is a he's, you know, he's best left in the abyss of which he now calls home, which is my hard drive. The dead parts of my hard drive. Well, not dead, but you know what I mean. Like the dark and crusty parts of my hard drive that see no use until we reload Pathfinder at some point. Let me see. Oh, no, don't go down, don't go down. Good boy, stay up. Why would you go down when you could stay up? These fanatics are kind of tricksy. And they make a lot of noise. Oh my god, they're actually hitting Adair. This is crazy to me. How can you hit Adair? He's amazing.
Leave it to me.
This is a lot more challenging. I'm enjoying this. This is definitely, I think we're back in an area where we're at the right level to be here. Why did you die instead of not dying? I know, why wouldn't they just die? Seriously, take that helmet off Adair? I like the helmet for Adair. I like it. It makes him look like a beast of a man. You know, maybe Adair's a furry. You didn't think of that, did you? Maybe he wants to be a deer or a stag. Okay, I think we're done here. Back into scout mode so we can check for traps. Okay. I really am enjoying the fact that we have no carry weight or like encumbrance. Mwah. Chef's kiss. Beautiful. I can hoard so much shit and not have to worry about encumbrance. I'm assuming this just leads through to the other area over here. Oh no. It does also seem to lead off. Oh no, it doesn't lead through that. Or maybe it does. Maybe it goes a long way around. Let me check my map. There we go. Let me see. So, oh, we missed a section here. Or did we? It's probably just a little corner, right? Like, I don't need to go back. It's probably just a little corner. He's not a furry. We already know he's into loud Scottish body snatchers. Loud Scottish body snatching women. Boy oh boy. Boy oh boy. I wonder if there's any real life examples of a loud Scottish woman snatching someone's body. Maybe. Something to Google.
Aye?
Oh, shite. There's 2 mind breakers. Yikes. I didn't expect there to be 2.
My mind feels trapped.
Right. While they are struggling with confusion, please, go and get rid of that one. Right, mark it. Do that on them. Oh no, you're stunned. How can you get stunned? You're not allowed to get stunned. You have to stay on your feet and keep fighting. Kana is taking such a fucking beating. And she does not have enough focus. Wait. Oh shit, Duran's just got stunned. Fuck. I was just about to get off a bit of healing as well. What class is Kana again? Kana is a chanter. So essentially like a kind of a bard, but more like combat ready, I would say. Oh wait, did you actually get it off? I don't think you did, because Kana's still really suffering. Did it just waste my my holy radiance for the encounter as a result of getting stunned? Possibly. Oh, fuck, Kana, you need to get out of that. Oh boy.
Into our...
Never mind. Never mind. Yeah, these are definitely tougher encounters than what we've been facing so far. It's all good. It's all good. Trigger that. Let's go ahead and... Yep. Okay. Adair, don't you dare attack us. Adair, don't you dare. This dungeon is hard to solo if you're into that. Only dungeon that has more challenging combat, I think, is Endless Paths. I've had some fun with the Endless Paths so far. I think we're on level 6 or 7 so far at this point. 6 or 7, I think. Might be 6. But I certainly can't imagine soloing this. I think that takes big cojones. Cojones, which I am lacking right now. Is there an alignment system in this game, says Hax? There isn't, and honestly, that's kind of refreshing. Like, alignment systems are nice at times, but even when I play like tabletop D&D, I don't really stick harshly to alignment systems. I think they're useful as like a foundation of like basing of creating a character, but after that I kind of like the idea of flexibility, you know. It's one of the reasons that I think I struggled with making decisions in Pathfinder was because I kind of wanted to stick to like the ideals that the character had from their alignment in Pathfinder, but sometimes those just didn't line up with what I thought the character would do, you know what I mean?
I can do that.
No, don't do it. It's probably trapped. Scouting mode. I'm learning. It still might be trapped, and you are gonna die if you... Ugh. We're gonna have to rest again. Gee whiz. We've rested so many times. 2 times so far? 3 times? This might be the 3rd time. Yeah, no, I don't think... There's no alignment system. There's no alignment system. There is, however, a reputation system. So, for instance... Basically, if you do things that are of a certain inclination, you'll gain points towards reputation. So, for instance, mine at the minute is benevolent 3, clever 1, clever 1. I doubt that. Diplomatic 2, passionate 2, rational 2, honest 2. You get the gist of it. I do have 1 point in deception, or deceptive, should I say? But it also lists like favored dispositions, disfavored dispositions. I think that's more to do with my paladin class, though. And then obviously reputation system, like I say, down here, in regards to what people think of you. Guess is neutral good always? I don't think I'm neutral good. I don't think I am neutral good. I think I'm more of like chaotic good. Lawful stupid. Stupid. What the fuck is wrong with me today? I can't talk. Lawful stupid, cunning evil, batshit crazy. These are the alignment choices we need. Oh my god. I'd play a TTRPG parody kind of game of alignments like that. It would be, I don't know, like what company can you see doing something like that? I feel like, who is it that made, I had to double check that because I didn't want to sound like an idiot. It was Obsidian. The Outer Worlds. I could kind of see an alignment system like that from the very little that I've played of the Outer Worlds. I could see something like that. Lawful good is pretty smart if you want to max out your experience game mostly. If I was gonna really dive into it and try a meta game, then lawful good is the way to go. Be as lawful good as possible. Max XP gains. Wait, oh no, they don't. I was gonna say, do the different? I've never actually checked this, but do the different characters have their own reputations? They do not. I mean, it makes sense, right? There's no need for them to, but it would be kind of interesting to see what the different factions think of my companions.
I'll give it a try, at least, as requested.
Oh, major endurance, a garnet, another rope and grappling hook. I'm assuming we're gonna have some climbing to do because I've found 3 of those so far in this dungeon. What is this doohickey? Is it a lever? No, it is not. It looks like the support beam for a bridge, which is non-existent. The path ends in a precipice. The remains of a ruined bridge lie on the other side of the chasm. Well, let's inspect the area. The darkness below continues as far as you can see. Broken stone pillars, remnants of the missing bridge, rise from the abyss. Across the gap, you think you see a long stone bridge. Oh, Long Johnson. Wooden beams protrude from the stones on either side of the chasm. Despite their age, they look sturdy enough to hold a grappling hook and rope. Oh, it's coming from the game. I thought I could hear rain outside. It's just a little bit of hiss, I think. Okay, let's toss our rope and grappling hook across the chasm. Although I feel like I could just go around the other way and go across the bridge. Either way, let's try this. Like this. You aim for the beams on the opposite side of the chasm and hurl your grappling hook across the gap. It snags on one of the beams, digging into the wood as you pull. I hope it's not rotting wood. With a couple firm tugs, you determine that the connection is secure. You tie the free end of the rope to one of the beams next to you. Okay. The path ends in a precipice. Shimmy across the chasm. I like getting spammed with Black Friday offers the entirety of November now. Yeah, what happened to Black Friday? Like, why is it now an entire month? Oh yeah, that's right, because businesses love Black Friday because it lets them get rid of all of their shitty stock for a discounted price. Well, not shitty, but you know what I mean. Stuff that they maybe want to sell off. Bit random, but what is your fave kind of takeout? Oh boy. That's a difficult one. These days, I'm not eating a lot of takeout, but back in the day, it really fucking depends. Like, if there's a good burger place that does, nice, like, top-notch burgers, then I'll always go for, something like that. But realistically, I like Mexican food. I like anything that's spicy. I'd probably have to say like Mexican style. I think. Like a good Chinese takeaway is nice every now and again, but I couldn't eat like Chinese takeout over and over and over again. Whereas with Mexican, I probably could eat burritos like all the time. The sound of laboured breathing echoes across the chasm. Kanar, Alof, and grieving mother are tiring. Oh no, guys, don't. You reach the other side, safe but exhausted. Are you fucking kidding me? And we could have just walked around. Ugh. Fuck. Oh my god. I'm a Domino's fiend, but my boyfriend thinks it's disgusting. I'm with your boyfriend on that one. I do not think Domino's is a good pizza place at all. I would much rather go for like a non-chain pizza place. There used to be a pretty good one when I lived in the city. It was really, really good until it wasn't. You know? One bad experience made me never go back to that chain. Not chain, sorry, that takeaway. Let's go for the Mindbreaker. You're doing interdict. Oh no, wait, no, you're not. I thought I. Oh no, you must be. You must be. Right, you two. Okay. Yeah, this is spicy. This is very spicy. Oh boy. Right, we need to get some healing out. Move forwards. About there, maybe? Right, use that. Go on, do it, do it, do it. There we go. Can we possibly... Yeah, we can indeed. Let's do that. Confusion has... I really should use Confusion way more often. It was really, really good in that last encounter where they were clumped together and they basically just weren't available for the first, like, I don't know, 20 seconds of the round. Or of the combat, should I say. Let's try that. Right. Now everyone on this board.
Quite the bloody celebration, it seems.
Oh geez, that's a lot. Yeah, that is a lot of blood. And a lot of flies. Yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Fine blunderbuss? I feel like that's not a blunderbuss. Like, isn't a blunderbuss generally like a, you know, well, essentially like a shotgun style musket? I feel like that looks like a pistol. Let's take a look. Oh no, it is two-handed. Okay. Never mind. It looked to me like it was like the graphic for like a pistol with just a wider, like a, yeah, like, yeah, Darko, like a small cannon. Yeah, yeah. What game am I thinking of? I remember a game where there was a blunderbuss in it, and essentially when you used the blunderbuss, you would basically just fill it with shit and then fire it. What game was that? It wasn't Fable 3. But I feel like it was an RPG. Ah, that's gonna bother me now. Can't remember for the life of me. Let's see. There are more guys over here, so let's go clear this place out first. Yep, there you are. Oh, just the one? No, there must be a cultist somewhere. Oh boy. Or maybe not. Maybe not. But it does seem to go off further this way. Oh boy. If I was a game dev, where would I put the main path? Would I put the main path this way or would I go that way? I think this is where we need to go, which therefore means I can clear this place out without going too far astray. Philosophical question, says Veldraxis. But would the existence of magic make fantasy civilizations remain stuck in the Middle Ages like they always seem to be? Oh boy. I want to say no. I think honestly, the only reason, or one of the only reasons, that we see fantasy settings, or the civilizations within fantasy settings, always seem to be stuck in like the Middle Ages, I think it's because of the... First of all, I think it's because of the roots that fantasy literature has. You know, if you think about like the Tolkiens and things like that, he wrote his setting to be within that time, or that sort of time era, I suppose. And it sort of took wings from there. But I think there definitely are settings out there. If I think about the Shadowrun games, for instance, there's magic in the Shadowrun games, but that's like a sort of a... would cyberpunk be correct? I suppose it's kind of cyberpunk. It would make them stuck more, because who cares about science if you have magic? I feel like I've definitely, even in Pillars of Eternity, there is an attention to science. There is an attention to science. Plus, there are things that science can do that magic cannot, I think. I generally don't really like shows with magic set in modern times. I don't know why, like Harry Potter and stuff. That's the sort of question that I could literally sit and talk about for like an hour. I'm not gonna, because nobody wants me to discuss. Nobody wants me to sit for an hour and discuss that sort of thing. But I don't think so. I don't think it needs to. They need to remain stuck in the Middle Age, sort of like the medieval style fantasy setting. I think there are examples where they don't stick to that, but I think that the main reason that they do stick to that is because it's more simplistic. You know, if you have a fantasy setting where, for instance, the only like feats such as flying, like traveling through the air and traveling great distances in the course of like seconds, let's say, if those can only be reproduced or produced through magical means, then it makes the magic, it heightens the magic, it makes the magic more pivotal within the world. Whereas if you, for instance, like Harry Potter was mentioned there, you can take like they have magic in that has like teleportation, right? Like there's teleportation magic in that. But at the same time, you could just go and drive your car or hop on a plane flight to a different part of the world. It's less powerful in that world, I think. I think so anyways. Hello, voices. Good day to you. Good day. I hope you're well. What if science is magic? I think that is a set of lyrics from the Hoosiers. Goodbye, Mr. A. They say science is. You say science is magic and expect me to buy it. Goodbye, Mr. A. Goodbye, Mr. A. Oh, a muggle? But yeah, that's kind of like my short stroke answer to a pretty complicated question, I think. And definitely an interesting one. Thanks for asking. But yeah. What are your thoughts on it, guys? Do you think that, like, I mean, I'm gonna rephrase the question in a way, or add to it. Do you think that it is possible to create a fantasy setting that maintains the power that magic generally has within fantasy settings, like if we think high fantasy, but have it set in a modern, technologically advanced world? What do you think? I always said if Government of Magic just hired some Navy SEALs or a sniper squad from the human world, it would solve a lot of problems. Oh, jeez. But the problem is, if they hired the Navy SEALs, nothing would get done because the Navy SEALs would be too busy writing all of those books that they write, right? You know, as soon as they leave the Navy SEALs, they write a book. Or 10. Nothing would get done. They'd be thinking about the next book deal. However, it is a good point. If they hired someone like that, definitely would be a lot more movement within the world. A lot more things happening. Magic kind of loses the arms race in modern times. I mean, do you think, this is kind of like an addendum to the question, I suppose, but do you think, like, let's say, for instance, in the past 100 years, as a civilization, you know, a global civilization, so to speak, we have created things like the atom bomb, right? Do you think that magic would scale to that point? If we were able to take science, and we were able to advance to the point where we could create something so destructive as the atom bomb, do you think that with a long enough period of time, magic would also scale to that point? Or would it be the case that magic would have a limit? And something else that I suppose this makes me sort of think myself is that maybe the reason that we don't see magic scaling to that point in literature and in video games is because if that was the case, it would be so destructive that the power of that at your fingertips would be so destructive, the world would not be stable. There would be the constant threat of the world just going bye-bye, wouldn't there? New dis who game? Zhang, game me, new you. Hello, good day. Hello, sir. I hope you're doing well. I'm carpet bombing Dark Forest for sure. Saw those spiders? No. Dark Forest spiders? What's this? What's this about Dark Forest spiders? Oh, you mean Harry Potter? Is that a Harry Potter thing? Honestly, guys, I'm not a massive Harry Potter fan. I don't know a lot about Harry Potter. I'm assuming Dark Forest is Harry Potter, though. That's like that's Chamber of Secrets, right? Oh, Josh has just said something insightful, guys. Any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. Arthur C. Clarke? Arthur C. Clarke. English science fiction writer. What did he write? Oh, he wrote Space Odyssey? Shit. What else did he write? The Sons of Mars? Wow. Dolphin Island, A Story of the People from the Sea. Can't say I've heard of that one. The Hammer of God. Ding dang dong. That guy's got an extensive collection of really good work. The one I remember is Magic is Just Science That We Don't Understand Yet, from the same guy. Was that from the same guy? Magic is Just Science That We Don't Understand Yet? Isn't magic, Zhang says, isn't magic usually depicted as talent or power-based and not something learned or developed? I think it depends on the world and the setting, right? Like if we look at like a tabletop game like Dungeons and Dragons, for instance, the world as it is perceived in that game. Someone like a wizard is someone who studies to gain an understanding of magic and the power of magic, whereas a sorcerer, for instance, is born with it in their bloodline, and a warlock has to make a pact with a powerful being to gain access to magic. Or a cleric, for instance, a cleric needs to worship a god or a deity to gain magical ability. So I suppose it's determined by the world setting. If I think about, I mean, something like people are talking about Harry Potter in chat, I suppose that's bloodline based, I believe. Apart from Harry Potter, is there any example of where it is like learned? I mean, I suppose in Harry Potter it is learned, but it's also bloodline. Like, the ability to cast magic or use magic is bloodline based, but you have to develop it through learning. Outside of that, I mean, Dungeons and Dragons comes to mind, the idea of wizards in D&D. The stuff in Marvel, like the Doctor Strange stuff in Marvel, I know that's not really the same sort of thing, but that is learned. That's not like born or like as part of a bloodline, I think, right? Jax, welcome to the stream. Magic is how all those Keebler elves can bake cookies inside a tree. Or you can worship machines like in Warhammer. Again, not familiar with the Warhammer setting really, but is that what they do? Is it like, do they worship like mechanoid gods that give them essentially magic? Essentially, magic would be unexplained science insofar as it'd be repeatable. I suppose that is the case, right? Like, if we think about most fantasy settings, magic is basically science. It's a school in of its own, and there are many schools within that school, especially if we look at different types of magic. Ultimately, it could be studied. So could it be said then that within a fantasy setting, magic supplants science? And at the same time, can you guys think of any worlds or any sort of settings, shall we say, where magic and science coexist and are kind of just as equal as each other? You know, it's not the case that magic is really, really powerful and science is just kind of, you know, if you can't use magic, then you go to science. Like, think a setting where the two are on par in a way. Or at least closely so. Magic would be the exercise, science would be the study and how the exercise works. So you think that ultimately magic would become a science in of itself because the magic is like you say, the magic is the exercise, the magic is the act or the repercussions of the exercise, whereas the science would be studying. Yeah. Jack says golden compass. So his dark materials has been mentioned by Josh, actually the other day on stream. And I do not know. I mean, I watched the Golden Compass movie a long time ago. It feels like, anyways. The TV series that they did, I haven't seen it, and I haven't read the book, so I don't know. Can you maybe explain to me how magic works in that world then? Because I truly have no understanding as it stands right now. Magic would be a discipline. Science would explain how the dude is able to animate the dead or conjure a fireball. So would science therefore be the sort of the act of applying mundane understanding to something that is fantastical like magic, do we think? I cannot, I've only seen the film. See, even if you remember what happened in the film, you probably have, you definitely have a better understanding of it than I do. I don't even remember what happened in the film, in all honesty. Maybe Full Metal Alchemist, magic requires science. For obvious reasons, well, not obvious reasons, but like for reasons that people are aware of, I have not seen Full Metal Alchemist. Wait, Selby, what happened to you? Where did your mod icon go? What the fuck? Selby's mod icon. I mean, she's still a mod, but the icon has disappeared. I got very confused for a second there. Science isn't a methodology for understanding the world. Isn't? Oh, is just. You can see it? Yeah, it's back now. For that one message that you said was sent where you said, yeah, science is just a methodology. It wasn't there for me. They say, Veldraxis says, they say when you expose a thing, the magic is lost. With the relationship between magic and science, that is a very interesting point. So, and that kind of ties into what I was just saying. Would science essentially make magic mundane if we had an understanding of it? Science would be like science is already. observing the natural universe and trying to come up with an explanation. In a magic world, magic would be part of the natural world. It would be interesting to see how that sort of thing applies to a world like, I believe in the Witcher's world, which I think it's just called the continent, right? In the Witcher's world, magic and a lot of the monsters, beasts, whatever you want to phrase them as, came from the conjunction of the spheres, I think that's what it's called, where the worlds overlapped and bled through to one another. So magic wasn't always present in that world, I don't think. Correct me if I'm wrong. But if that's the case, and magic wasn't always present, and therefore magic wasn't necessarily a part of the natural world, how does that apply? What did you do to me? Did you ban me again? I didn't touch anything. I didn't touch anything. In Witcher, magic advanced and enhanced science. See, that's where things get interesting, I think. Where magic stops being, it doesn't get treated as though it's something that's part of the world, and instead it coexists alongside science and actually, sort of transcends what would otherwise be to sort of like magic, where magic and then science, which could essentially make magic mundane. I can't think of a single magic world where magic is something unnatural or unheard of, even if it might be frowned upon or considered dark. So a magic world where magic is something unnatural or unheard of. What about Game of Thrones? What about the Game of Thrones world? The Song of Ice and Fire world? Magic is very rare, to my understanding, and it is in some ways considered unnatural. And I suppose to some it is unheard of. Oh. There's knowledge of like genetics, and I suppose there must be knowledge of genetics because the witches are a thing, right? So that makes total sense. Everyone just kind of accepts that magic missiles exist. If it's part of nature, I imagine magic would likely be part of science, but maybe not when it comes from a divine source. So maybe the origin of the magic dictates. This is a pretty interesting conversation we're having. So maybe the origins of the magic are what dictate the sort of progression of its study. I don't know. What Josh said, quoting Arthur C. Clarke, would be the best definition. Imagine going back in time 1,000 years and showing a simple science project, like making a volcano or showing how a battery works. For instance, imagine going back 1,000 years with your mobile device or with a tablet, anything like that. It would be magic because to those people, because they would have no idea of its source or how it works, and they wouldn't have a method, should I say, of being able to reproduce what they're seeing. So it would be magic. We're getting really held up here. There we go. You need to move through as well. There we go. Okay. Simple scientific examples our kids can do in the lab would brand them as witches back in the day. Yeah, they certainly would. Which is kind of what leads me to... I kind of feel as though when you look back at history and you see the examples of where people were like burned at the stake, for instance, for being witches, or, considered to be Wiccan, or whatever other, titles or references we used. Part of me does think that those was probably in some way just an example of early scientific studies or students, shall we say. In the Witcher books, Vilgefortz even experiments with in vitro. Oh, does he? I haven't read that. I am totally naive to the books. Probably another series that I need to add to the list of things that I want to read. My knowledge of The Witcher comes from playing... it comes from playing fully the second and third game, a little bit of the first game, watching the TV series, but other than that, my knowledge is not great. And nowadays, a flamethrower would be the equivalent to burning hands. Wow, that iPhone is like magic. How does it work? Oh, jeez. What is this witchcraft? This is called an iPhone, brought to us by the magnificent deity, Steve Jobs. A mobile phone with a wireless headset would be akin to the message spell. Oh, that's the best example yet, I think. What about Star Wars? Voices says the Force is not magic. I don't know. I mean, it's just mysterious. Yeah, but weren't we just saying that if something can't be fully sort of comprehended and it's not mundane, then it maybe constitutes magic? I kind of do like to think that the Force is in some way a form of magic. And the reason that I think that is because of, you know, essentially the archetypes that George Lucas used when writing those, you know, scripts for when building the world for the first, you know, trilogy. It's very much based on like Arthurian sort of legend, wasn't it? A mixture of Arthurian legend and Japanese cinema, I believe. Hence the sort of samurai magic wielding old man that we see in Ben Kenobi or Obi-Wan. Magnets, how do they work? No, Zhang, we don't know how they work. They are magic. Magnets are magic. It's confirmed here, guys. I don't think it would be like a spell. It's more like using a magical tool, right? Spells usually involve the power coming from inside the person. Not necessarily. Not necessarily, I don't think. Like, I think magic, in a fantasy world, I think magic can very much be... it can come from an object. Whether that's through an enchantment or through some innate ability that the object has. I don't think it necessarily has to come from inside a person. Yes, the medieval concepts, but have concepts of advanced science, just tools, not caught up yet. Wait. Apologies, Darko, I'm struggling to read. Yes, they medieval, but have concepts of advanced science, just tools, not caught up yet. Oh, so do you mean to say that it could be the case that the scientific understanding is there, but the tools of which to take further advancements forward do not exist within the sort of setting? It is kind of explained. Oh, yeah, I know it's kind of explained from midichlorians, but honestly, I was one of those people that didn't really like the dive into, oh, the Force is from midichlorians. Like, I wasn't a big fan of that, you know. So I suppose in my head canon, I think differently. But yeah, if we're gonna go with the example of midichlorians, then yes, it is more of a science-based thing, a genetic thing, rather than like a magic ability. Also, many of the Force powers, force push, pull, long-range communication, jump, etc., could be explained by quantum mechanics. In theory, if our tech evolves enough, we would be able to manipulate the fabrics of space with ease. Yeah, but Force powers aren't through use of technology, though, are they? They're like not an innate ability, but a learned ability. No worries, Darko. No worries. I always enjoyed magic in settings because of the mind over matter aspect. You could translate that to science. Science in, say, the Fallout series. So magic in settings because of the mind over matter. What do you mean by that, Veldraxis? Mind over matter. I mean, I know what mind over matter means, but I just mean in this specific context. It is interesting to hear like a series like Fallout mentioned in comparison to like Fantasy World as well, though. Like, I really enjoy... Shit. Trap triggered. Yikes. Let's get out of the way. There we go. Oh, no. Still got hit. Like, I enjoy the Fallout games.
I think it may be time to strike up camp.
Oh, God. We only have one set of materials left. Force powers manifests through one's command of the midichlorians, the willpower is king. And midichlorians through quantum interaction could explain the powers used. We'd probably have to like sit and quiz George Lucas on it, right? Like, I suppose in regards to something like Star Wars, where it's realistically like nothing is 100% concrete, because George's writing is kind of in some ways all over the place. I wonder, actually, it would be interesting to see if anyone has actually asked him questions like that in the past and what his answers were. I meant that that the mind or soul produces effects greater than the body. Oh, I see. So modern scientists can also be compared to olden medicine men, I guess. Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Throwing out the nerd emote. Adrian Tchaikovsky's Shadows of the Apt series has many humanoid species, all with features of different insects. Some of them have an affinity for magic, but are befuddled by technology, and others are technologically adept but cannot understand magic. That's an interesting sort of way of presenting of featuring like the sort of essentially it's splitting down magic and technology, or magic and science, shall we say, into two different sort of aspects, like a mirror image almost. Star Wars was presented as a magical universe at first, but later on various scientific theories that would explain the Force popped up. I think that's honestly why as much as I do actually like the prequel movies. I know, feel free to flame me all you want, guys, but I do actually like the prequel movies. You know, I grew up watching those. I watched the sequel movies first, and then I grew up with the release of the prequel movies. So they hold a special part in my heart, or a special place in my heart, should I say, even if there are some hot trash moments in those movies. I still love them. But I think that's why the sequels had such a maybe like a different feel is the right way to explain it than the prequels, you know? Not sequel. Sequels is totally wrong. Sequels is totally wrong. I'm misphrasing this terribly. The original trilogy is what I mean. The sequel trilogy is to me shit. OG trilogy is what I meant to say. Similarly to what Josh just said, in Star Wars, a Jedi does not need to understand how the power works, only how to commune with the Force. I mean, yeah, I suppose they don't need to know how it works. They just need to be able to reach out and actually... Like, there is no scientific understanding of how the Force works, so to speak. It's mainly just the ability. Like, there seems to be... There is actually... Yeah, when you think about it, there is a very little focus, as far as I'm aware, of, like, a scientific understanding within the Star Wars universe of how the Force actually works, besides from just, oh, it's midichlorian count. It's very much like just the studies that seem to be done into it seem to be purely how to commune with the Force, how to channel those powers. Not so fun fact, the time between the Phantom Menace and now is longer than between the original Star Wars movie and the Phantom Menace. Don't say that, Zach. Don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say it. It's depressing to think about, okay? Ah, fuck. There are so many traps in this place. Scouting mode needs to be active.
I don't suppose we could rest a spell.
Really? We don't need to rest. We're good. We're good. Nobody's dying yet. Still one day to go. With that being said, though, like it sounds that sounds like an extreme sort of period of time to pass. But at the end of the day, there's also been like an entire new trilogy of movies that have been released in that time as well, right? It's just that what we got was hot garbage. There are always traps when you go through the back door. Am I going through the... Is that what this is? This is just the back door? I didn't realize that. But with that being said, let's take the back door. In the non-canon, thanks Disney... Oh yeah, Legends. I mean, that's my preferred canon. Legends was amazing. There is a series of books called The New Jedi Order. Is that the series that sort of takes on the viewpoint of... I mean, Luke is obviously one of the main characters there, but I feel like Jason Solo and Ben Skywalker are both characters in that series, perhaps. Creatures outside of the Force. Is that the Yuzon Vong? I think. Possibly. Or is that something else entirely? I think I maybe read like 1 or 2 books from that. No, in fact, I think I probably only read like 1 book. I didn't actually get to the point where there was like the big invasion, so to speak. But I'm sure I read 1 book in that sort of series. It's been so long. I'm in scouting mode and I just can't see the traps. At some point I would like to return to those books because I have a big old fucking stack of them somewhere. Oh boy, oh boy. There is a trap. Don't go in the trap. Don't go in the trap. My god, this place is... Oh god, I can't disarm it. Yikes. Yuzon Vong? Yeah, it's something like that, right? In fact, I think that's like almost bang on with the spelling, right? But yeah, the Yuzon Vong. They're like all of their ships are like biological in nature, right? They're kind of like, now that I think of it, they kind of are like Illithid technology in a way. Or like a sort of cross between biological and mechanical, from what I remember. Mute, says Zhang, my crotch goblin needs cartoons. Good God. Am I not enough of a cartoon? I can teach things. Isn't that the point of cartoons? Like to teach lessons? No, it's definitely not. I miss when cartoons were you know, I'm not going down that route. I'm not going to start bitching about cartoons. Back in my day. We're not going to do it, guys. The whole society is like the Zergs and stuff. Oh, that's probably a better example, actually. Because they just absorb, don't they? They just, like, absorb, like, entire races and whatnot, don't they? Aren't they from, like, way beyond the unknown regions? Like, beyond the unknown regions? Oh, holy fucking shit, this looks no bueno. Let's go ahead and do a save. A hard save. Yikes. Big old yikers, guys. Boy oh boy, before I head into this pit of despair, that seems to have some sort of BDSM cage in the middle, let me go ahead and remind you guys that if you're enjoying the stream and you haven't already done so, go ahead and hit that follow button, because it helps me know that I'm doing something right in this world. But either way. Oh yeah, and join the Discord on top of that, because why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? Best place to stay up to date on when I'm going live. But yeah, coming back to the Yuzon Vong conversation, I think they are like more like the Zergs in StarCraft, like you say, than my example of like Illithid-ish technology. Boom, Selby. Selby remembering all the good stuff. I never remember that stuff, guys. I'm terrible at marketing myself. I don't do it. As you approach the blood pool, the viscous liquid churns and bubbles. You feel essence rising to the surface, reaching out to you, whispering. Someone should clean that up. I think so. Some strange power seems to be animating the blood. I'm going to hazard a guess and say that whatever it isn't benevolent. Grotesque masks and pools of blood. They aren't half-hearted in their madness, are they? Kanar wrinkles his nose. A place of death. We should not linger here.
A bubbling cauldron of Skane's hateful seed. He may be sniveling and cowardly in his ways, but he has never lacked for focus.
Oh boy. Do I want to extend my soul to the blood pool? I think this might be a no bueno moment, but I kind of want to see if we can contact the dead that might be in that pool, or their souls at least. Join the Discord and watch all the embarrassing clips I took of Cass. That is another point to join the Discord. I really need to do an editing session at some point. I need to find a little slot of free time, or quite a sizable slot of free time at this point, and do some editing and get more VODs up on YouTube and maybe get some more clips as well, all added up. Just have not had the time lately. Oh yeah, and of course that one as well, Darko. That one, of course. How could I forget? If you want all those pics of me in maid outfits and what else would I put on that sort of me in painting myself like one of my French girls, then that's the place to go. Let's extend our soul to the blood pool. Oh boy. The faint whispers resolve into a cacophony of voices. You imagine yourself surrounded by 100 men and women. Their naked flesh is scourged and bloody, or skinned and covered with flies. Their eyes are missing, replaced by glittering black stones. The voices cry out in unison.
They don't cry out, oh woe! No! They don't do that! No!
Fucking sins. That was sinful and disgusting. I was just about to start reading what the voices said, and then you fucking oh-woed me. No. No. I will not stand for this. This blasphemy. Let's retcon that, guys. The voices do not say oh whoa, okay? The voices do not say oh whoa. Voices in chat said oh whoa. But the voices in game do not. The voices in game say this.
What's this? Another soul come to rage and burn, or merely to watch? You may be long time in waiting. Our work today is already finished.
You were sacrificed. You were all sacrificed to Skane, weren't you? A woman's voice replies, We were sacrificed to the whims and hungers of the rich and powerful, but what we gave here, that was our decision. Okay. They hover at your soul's edge, feeling you out. Our fury burned within us, unquenched and unfed, but hate can be fashioned into a weapon by those willing to pay the price. Another voice speaks, In life we were weak, but in death we made a choice. Choice carries power. What kind of power? A voice cackles, If you must ask, then you have never had the need of revenge. Oh, shit. They probe at the boundaries of your soul, exploring your essence. It is a shame there is nothing in you we could use. Hold. I would know what you've done here. The pool itself begins to ripple with the sound of a dissonant chorus of perverse laughter that rakes at your ears. The lapping blood stirs a large metal cage half submerged in the center of the pool, and it creaks loudly as it rocks back and forth on a rusted pulley as if in answer to your question. Wait, let me ask you more about this place. The time for questions is over, Watcher. Yikes. Pay the price, we gain power. Darko is literally just the devil on my shoulder at every point. Do it. Do it. Fucking Emperor Palpy over there. Okay, well, let's go and check out the back entrance that we were so desperately trying to get through.
I'll give it a
You
try.
shitting me?
At least.
God damn it. Just one companion? I don't want to give any of my companions up. The pool of blood is still and quiet now. Surely we don't need them all. They're like Pokemon, okay? I'm collecting them. Gotta catch them all. Fuck. How do the cultists deal with this place?
Could use a wee kip.
I'm sure you could. How the fuck do the cultists deal with this? Oh, remember, Jerry, on the left, there's the trap. You need to be very careful when you make that left turn. There's a trap there. Remember that. There's also a trap on every other wall as well. Good God. Ooh, Cryptmaster's Key. Jonas, how many fucking journals did you make that you called the Final Journal? Are we going to find one that's actually called the true Final Journal of Jonas? I think there's probably going to be a puzzle that requires some of the knowledge from within Jonas's journal. I think that's why we've been given free copies of his journal so far, so that we could not possibly miss his journal. Which, honestly, to me, that's bad game design. Don't place evidence, or not evidence, don't place knowledge that someone needs to progress further into the game in something that people might miss. Even like don't make it so you have to make multiple copies of it. The traps are smart. They can only be triggered by non-believers. That makes sense. Skein triggered traps or non-skein triggered traps. We sacrifice a dare plus 2 to deflection. We would. Selby is right. We would never sacrifice a dare. Alof can go, then a dare won't be distracted. No! I need both my... I need... No! I need the Matt Mercer Triforce, okay? That's what they are. The Matt Mercer Triforce. Maybe Kanar. Oh, but I like Kanar as well. He's a little bit OTT at times, but, you know, I like him. Grieving Mother then? Oh, but no, I like Grieving Mother as well because, I don't know. I'm just kind of digging her character at the minute. No one will miss Durance too. No, but Durance adds some comedic value to the party. Or maybe Durance can go. Durance and his two-handed staff. No, we can't get rid of any of them, guys. They're all so important to me. They hold a serious place in my heart of hearts. Oh shit! What happened there? Why are your hit points gone? Oh, Kanar. Kanar, my boy, why do you keep, you know, being so, for lack of a better word, shit? You were doing so well. I think this is just a true test of Kanar's ability to off-tank. Which is severely lacking, as it turns out. At least in this specific scenario. Gee whiz. Oh, no. I didn't mean to cast it on him. Okay.
A fatigued mind is a weakened one.
Sagani's fox. No, Itumak. No, not Itumak. No, I can't sacrifice any of them, guys. I've decided. It's not happening. No sacrifices. Who else is sitting at the keep doing fuck all? There is Haravius, who I haven't really... Yeah, you know what? I haven't really gotten attached to Haravius. Oh, apologies, guys. Sorry, guys. The 13-month resub really made me fill my breeches right then. Boy, oh boy. Trash, thank you so much for resubscribing for 13 months. How you doing, mate? How you doing? You okay? How's work? How's life in general? Have you been on any amazing adventures recently? Darko says you refuse to absorb souls. You won't perform blood sacrifices. What kind of a monster am I? I am the worst kind of monster. It has to be said. Good, tired. Wait, good, tired? Good, tired? Do you mean you're good, but you're also tired? Or do you mean that you are tired in a good way? You know, like you've done a hard day of labor and you feel proud of yourself and therefore you're tired, but it's a good tired. Or do you mean you are good because you're very happy, but at the same time, you're tired? It's 3 a.m. and I am getting ready for work. Oh, that doesn't sound like the good type of tired. That sounds like the type of tired where you're considering putting me on loudspeaker to talk to your boss and explain to them that you cannot possibly... Oh, God, guys. Oh, jeez. Number one, I probably need to turn the alert for that down a little bit because it blows me out of my seat every time. Number two, Hacks, thank you so much for resubscribing. 2 months. 2 months of subscription. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. But either way, my point was, Trash, that sounds like the worst type of tired, you know? Where maybe I need to have a word with you, boss. Stop making Trash come in at like 4 a.m. Stop it. It's not good. After a 6 hours horizontal dance, one is good tired. Yeah, not gonna argue it. Kess, you know how I feel about Twitch. Oh, jeez. I do know how you feel about Twitch. You are of the school of fuck Bezos and fuck his profits, right? We've discussed this at length, guys, in the past, and of course, I could not comment on my, I have no negative feelings towards Twitch, of course. They are benevolent. They have always done right by me. They support small creators. They're just a good bunch of people, you know? I don't know what everyone's problem is with Twitch, you know? I think they're great. They're amazing, you know? Personally, I think that at the end of every stream, we should have a full list of credits of everybody that works at Twitch, and we should have to memorize all of the names on that list of credits, you know? I think it's only fair. It's the only way that we can truly show how grateful we are for providing us with so much entertainment, right? You know? It's only fair. Twitch is going downhill. Fuck 'em. No, they're not going downhill. No, I would never say that Twitch is going downhill. Twitch is going up to the top of the cliff. What are they going to do when they get to the top of the cliff? That's up for you guys to decide. Whoa, we are Voices. Voices, thank you so much for gifting a wonderful tier 1 sub. Thank you. And of course, for starting the hype train. Yeah. I've never done that before, and I will never do it again. So you guys are part of a special group of people that just saw me turn into a frat boy. I want them to know. You should write a letter, Darko, to Mr. Bezos. Fuck you. That's what you should put in the letter.
Scattered. Hard to hold on to.
I got so confused between the dialogue in the game then and Selby's gift sub. Selby, thank you so much for gifting out a community sub. I hope it went to someone truly deserving, and I hope whoever received it, I hope you have a big smile on your face right now, and you feel like you just had the joy of slapping baby Jesus's butt cheeks when he was birthed to determine if he was alive or not. You know? That's the thing that they do, right? They slap the baby's butt cheek to make them squeal, so that, or scream. Squeal is not the right word. Squeal is really a weird word to use in that context. They slap the baby's butt cheek to determine if the baby is going to scream, because screaming is a sign of life, right? Do they still do that? I don't think they do that anymore, right? I think that's like an old thing. Got a restraining order? Ah, shit, you too. He won't even have me round to the house anymore. Like I'm constantly calling him up, and I'm like, Jeff, I know things didn't go well last time, but like I swear I'm a changed man. You can have me back around the house. In fact, I'll invite myself if like, you know, if that's what it takes. I'll invite myself. I'll come around Bezos Manor, and we can just have good old, you know, like just like the good old times. We'll have good times. And he's always like, how did you get this number? I'm like, Jeff, we go back so far, mate. What do you mean, how did I get this number? I found it online. I found it on the dark web. What do you mean? How did I get this number? Why are you not stealthing to find traps? I'm realizing that it's totally helpless even if I do go into scouting mode.
I think... Guys, please.
Yep.
Not yet.
See? Doesn't help at all. But in fairness, I was in scouting mode up until this point. And I still could not disarm them or see them. Right. So, looks like we need to rest again. God, this place is really eating up camping supplies like nothing else. Did you guys see the conversation that, well, I say conversation. Did you guys see what Asman was saying the other day? Apparently, I kind of heard this secondhand, but, you know, either way, let's hope that I got it right. Asman is thinking of returning potentially, like he wants to be back on his main channel for Dragonflight release for WoW, but when he goes back to the main channel, he's not going to be treating it like a job anymore. He's just going to be treating it like he does his secondary channel. And apparently Twitch are actually, like, some people in power at Twitch are actually really pissed off that he's not streaming on that channel right now. Because, like, he's costing them hundreds of thousands of dollars, supposedly. Kind of crazy. And also hilarious. It's almost like large creators have control and can inflict positive change, potentially. We will see. We will see. At the same time, I think there's also a demographic of large creators who very much just want to kind of keep their mouths shut and, you know, keep on sailing with the tide. And I mean, hey, some of them have mortgages to pay. Some of them have got families to support. I totally understand. Totally understand. Certainly not one of these people that wants to get up on a pedestal and start preaching to people and saying, you should be supporting everyone, not just yourself. Some people have families to support. Oh, holy fucking shit, that was disgusting. The fucking ooh woo. Let me see if I can turn those sounds up a little bit, actually. Probably would help if I went ahead and... Oh boy, guys. Game audio might be a little bit loud for a sec. I promise I'll fix it. Nice. I don't really care about large creators, says Selby. I just think all the changes mainly fuck over small ones. Yeah, generally speaking, that seems to be the case. I think channels with like 50 viewers, well, 50 plus viewers, should have way more flexibility with ads and cuts and stuff. Oh, less than 50, sorry. Less than 50 viewers. Should have more flexibility with ads and cuts and stuff. I think that realistically, ding dang damn, we have received, guys, level 1 hype train emote. Choo choo, motherfuckers. I think that realistically, more control over ads would be nice. Would definitely be nice. I mean, I don't run them at this point. If you get an ad on my channel, it's normally because it's a pre-roll. If you get an ad on my channel and you know it's came from me, it's because I've went on a break and so I've ran some ads to try and get rid of the pre-roll. We don't use ads here. I don't run scheduled ads. I don't see the point. It doesn't add to my like income that I receive from Twitch to like up to a worthwhile amount. It breaks up conversations that I can have with you guys, which is always annoying as fuck. Like if I'm talking with you guys and then all of a sudden one of you gets hit by an ad and you ask me a question and you miss the answer to that question, it makes the stream shitty, okay? I don't see the point in running them. So more control over ads would be nice. I also think that in the same way, whereas partners have specific points of contact within the organization that they can, you know, go to and talk to, I think there should be some sort of support that is offered to affiliates as well. Now, I know that people might say, oh, well, I'm sure there's a help and support section. Yeah, I don't mean, I mean as in a group that you can actually go to and have a human conversation with, you know? It would be useful. The fact of the matter is that that won't happen because smaller creators aren't worth it, you know? Like, realistically, they're just trying to support the creators that can actually help them with their profits. And that's understandable from a business perspective, you know? Ding dang damn! All of the emotes! All of them. Give me them all. Choo choo. But yeah, as for the cuts, I don't think there's anything wrong with the 50-50 cut. I don't have any complaints about that. I don't think that this is going to maybe be a controversial opinion, but I don't think that creators or small creators need any more incentive or any more monetary incentive to stream. I think there's already an overabundance of streamers on Twitch. And I think that giving more monetary incentive would only rise that number up, and that would make it even more competitive than it already is. And that would lead to even more low quality content than there already is. I know that sounds kind of harsh, but like, it's the truth. If there's an overabundance of people and it's very easy, or easier, shall I say, than it is to make a higher level of profits, then more people are going to do it. And I think it would probably just be it would be more of a negative than a positive. I think the 50-50 cut's absolutely fine. Yeah. Like, put it this way, I don't feel the need to demand any more money than what I receive for streaming. You know, it's a hobby. I enjoy it. I have fun on my streams. We generally have good times here, guys, I think. I don't really feel that I need a large monetary incentive to do something that I enjoy. I think that for people that get into this purely for the monetary incentive, those are the wrong sorts of people to have on the platform, personally. Because if you have a platform that is pretty much driven entirely by people who are creating content purely for money, when at the end of the day, you know, when you first start off streaming, chances are you might not have a webcam, you probably have a shitty microphone, you probably aren't really kitted out with loads of gear, it's not really a professional stream, it's just you hanging out. Maybe you don't really talk a lot, maybe you're shy, maybe you're just getting into streaming and you talk every like 5 minutes, you say a sentence every 5 minutes. I don't think there should be more of a monetary incentive for that. I think that as it stands, I think that we need more people on the platform that have less of a focus on the money. And I say this with genuinely good intentions at heart, but there are a lot of people that I have encountered who maybe aren't even affiliate yet, and they're already talking about the idea of making Twitch like a source of income. It's not realistic. It's like, it's not realistic. That's the harsh truth of it, guys. It's not realistic. You might get lucky and you might start making big bucks from Twitch, but it's not realistic to act as though you're striving towards a income. It's unstable. It's not certain. I think people should just treat streaming as a hobby, enjoy it, have fun with it, have fun with their communities that they're building. And if something comes from it and you're able to make a living off of it, then good for you. You've achieved something. If not, just have a good time. Just have a good time. We genuinely need more FOT streamers, says Hacks. Oh boy.
Where are the farts? I need more farts!
I feel like that's what you're hearing in your head right now, Hacks. But yeah, like I said, I don't think we need more monetary incentive to stream. I just think we need more support for what we do. Like more communication from the platform. This needs to be turned down even more. It's so loud. More communication from the platform would be nice. I think that having some sort of, like I said earlier, some sort of method of getting into somewhat close contact with professionals that can help you grow or manage your channel would be nice. And like realistically, I think the creator dashboard as it stands right now is fucking dumb as fuck. Like what? Let me actually head over there right now. Let me take a look. Game's paused, so I'm not going to die while I'm gone. Let me go over to... Ooh. Holy fucking shit, guys. They've actually added some new stuff in, I think. Let me take a look. Literally just as I spoke. Ooh. Holy fucking shit, guys. Speak. Ask. And you will receive. Literally just headed over to the new... Welcome to the new analytics layout. Okay. Now, one complaint that I did have that I noticed just the other day is that for a while there, they introduced... I'm actually going to switch this onto the other monitor so I can see chat. They introduced a really cool element. I really enjoyed it. I was really looking forward to making use of it, where you can go to your stream overview and you can actually see for individual streams where the high points of chat was. So you can, let's say a funny moment happens. When something funny happens on stream or something interesting happens on stream, generally you guys talk more. So if I can see specific points where you guys were talking more, I can go there and I can say, this is probably somewhere that I would want to make a clip. It means I don't have to stream for 4 hours and then spend like 2 hours with the stream on 2 times speed, watching back to try and find places to make clips. Much easier. Really good idea. I appreciate that. It went missing the other day. I don't know if it's back. Let's check. Welcome to the new analytics layout, should I say. I know. You've already told me about this. No, it's not back. Okay, so they got rid of it. Fucking hell. Let me see. What's new then? This looks the exact same as it was the other day when I checked my analytics. What's new? Viewers. Okay, so there's a new discovery page. This is giving me the exact same information I already had access to, just on a different page. Let's have a look at engagement. This is the exact same information I have on my overview, just on a different page. Revenue. Again, this is the exact same information that I can receive just by looking at my general overview. Never mind. I really thought they'd done something good, something cool. I thought we had some new tools. We do not. We have the same tools, but just spread across multiple different pages now. So now I can't even open one page to look at everything. I have to open multiple. Good job. Good job. What's going on in chat? Random ads are just stupid no matter if you're a big or a small streamer. I do agree. I think that it's more impactful on small streamers. The reason for that isn't because I'm a small streamer. It's because, I mean, obviously there's going to be some bias, of course. But it's because with a small streamer, I think, I can only speak from my own experience, but I'm looking at what you guys are saying in chat. And I'm generally trying to catch every message. And if it's something that I need to reply to, then I'm replying to it. With a big streamer or a larger content creator, they're probably only catching like the odd message or things are being highlighted for them. And so they're only addressing a small portion of their audience. So the chances of people missing an answer to a question is less. Twitch is not allowed to care for their streamers, as their big daddy Amazon requires more minerals from them. Yeah, big daddy Amazon. Sussy Baka. But people aren't going to abandon big streamers because of random ads, whereas they're much more... Yeah, I think that's probably the case as well. And I'm not really thinking about incentivizing streamers. I just don't want to pay money towards the stream if the streamer only gets 50% of it. It just feels bad. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the reasons why I ultimately went with, opening up donos, tips, the tip page, the dono page, whatever you want to call it. That's there so that people don't have to feel like 50% of their money that they're giving is going towards someone that they don't even know and, don't even want to give to. It just builds frustration, and when it reaches a tipping point, said streamer and his community will migrate to YouTube or somewhere else. Yeah, I think so. I mean, don't get me wrong. People have already said, like, have you ever considered switching to YouTube instead of Twitch? And I believe the answer I gave at the time was, I have no ties. If I decide that YouTube is a better place to be, then I'll go there. But there's no loyalty in this. It's not like when you work for a company and you get to know the company, other company workers, and like your loyalty is built up over time. Like it's nothing like that. It's not a job. It's just a hobby. So I could very easily switch to another platform. Monetary revenue from content creation would obviously dip if I did that, but I've already made that clear. That's not really an incentive in it. It definitely helps, definitely makes me feel good to know that there's revenue coming in from Twitch, but it's not the driving factor at this point. I would. Skipping chat's not that bad. I think it purely depends on the sort of streamer that you are. I do take big pauses from playing the games at times to talk with people in chat. That's the sort of stream that I run. I enjoy talking with people. I enjoy going over topics of conversation like we were before with the whole magic discussion. Sussy wussy backer. Did you see that Elon mentioned he might pay some YouTubers 10% more to move to Twitter? I don't know if that will work. I don't know if that will work. I did see that he was potentially thinking of like bringing Vine back. I also don't think that will work. I think that there is a loud voice within this sort of industry right now that is against Elon Musk. And so I'm not too sure that there will really ever be a load of content creators that are just like, you know what, I'm going to go there. Because I think most of the content creators that he would probably want to come over to Twitter, I think that they are probably earning so much money that it really doesn't matter to them, that extra 10%. And you can say, oh, well, yeah, you can always have more money. But I think you also have to think about the idea that the large majority of their viewers might also not really be a fan of them working with Elon Musk. Like public image is definitely something that they need to take into account. And I think that there is a very large portion of people that don't seem to like Elon at the minute. Personally, I have not looked into it. I hold no opinion. Yeah, I never really cared about Twitter anyways. I am on Twitter. I use it for the stream, but I don't really like Twitter. I kind of think it's hot garbage and has been for years. It's mostly media huff. Yeah, probably. Probably. Okay, so brief update. The new overview for Twitch is not new. It's just repurposed information across multiple pages. They have not brought back the very super duper handy chat highlighter. So that's kind of suckish. And that's it. There's no positives. There's no positive, guys. What, you thought I was going to sit and tell you about all the positive changes that they've brought to the platform? I wish I could. Twitter, like Reddit, is for prawn, and memes. I don't even think it's for memes, Twitter. I think it's, honestly, my opinion of Twitter is that it is different to Reddit and that Twitter is purely a place for people to go and argue. And for and for graphics designers to desperately follow every small time streamer they can find in the hopes that they get a job from it. Yeah. Nothing annoys me more. No, that's not fair. Something that mildly annoys me and serves as a very mild annoyance is the amount of graphic designers, like graphics artists, that follow me on social media in the hopes that I will suddenly look at their profile and go, "You're hired, please make this for me." It's the laziest way of marketing yourself that I can think of off the top of my head. Oh, I'm not even going to try and contact this person. I'm just going to follow them in the hopes that they will look at my profile and decide they want to hire me. It's lazy. It's lazy. Not fun. I also think they're targeting the wrong sort of people as well. He said he's making it engineer driven, so it's a technology company, and add loads of new features. Let's see what he adds. Let's see if it really excels. Like, I know he said he wanted it to be like the town square of the internet. I mean, let's see. Twitter is mostly for celebrities and companies to advertise and give news, I think. I think, ultimately, what I said I think it is and what you say you think it is, I think it's very much based on what you actually go on Twitter for. Like, I suppose it's got many different sort of priorities or focuses, shall we say. And it's very much like a personal thing, I think. You know, what you experience on there. Wymond? A large bull-necked man in a hood helps a young elven woman down from a glass chamber connected... Oh, I should probably have rested or something. I feel like I'm underprepared for this. Connected to a dizzying array of cables and machinery. Her skin and clothing glisten with fresh blood.
You may feel a little lightheaded for the next hour or two, but that
Hello,
will
Matt.
pass.
How many people do you
Have a
voice?
meal and get some sleep when you return to town. A transfusion.
Fuck, is this Ailsis? Or Ellis, or whatever her name is? What happened? And for creators to get problems resolved by their platform after being ignored on a platform. Yeah, that too. That too, Josh. The amount of posts you see where it's like, I mean, it doesn't even have to be by their platform, does it? There's plenty of famous people and creators that go on Twitter and complain about like airlines and things. And that kind of pisses me off. Well, no, it doesn't kind of piss me off. It really pisses me off because it's like, hey guys, stop using your like power or your social stature to get your problems resolved before anyone else does, you know? Like maybe there was a queue to get that problem resolved, and ahead of you in the queue was like 10 ordinary people, and you just jumped the queue by going on Twitter. Like, fuck you. Fuck you. No witnesses, says Darko. Oh boy, I don't like where this is going.
The transfusion will be smoothest if you relax and rest. The implanted essence already has a hold on your mind, so fighting it will be useless.
The implanted essence?
And I hope our new visitor does not complicate matters overly.
Oh, they've put Skane inside her? Is that what they've done? What's going on here?
Subversion. The black sheep cousin of justice. Or haven't you heard Lord Heron's tale of woe about a missing daughter and an impending marriage? He's sent his soldiers to scour the village while he bides his time at the Dracogen Inn.
Is he saying that the Lord's actually lying?
I don't expect you to understand what I'm doing. Neither the rituals of Scan nor the labors of animancy meet with much approval in polite society. But unsightliness reminds polite society that there are limits. When no one pays attention to the excesses and debaucheries of a lord, you give them something they can't look away from.
Yes, it is indeed another Mercer voices. Oh boy. Haron said he was taking her to Ina's Rest to find a suitor, but a few pieces of his story didn't add up.
Did a bit of digging, did you? That's more than can be said for most. Lord Heron's been telling everyone she's his daughter. He brought her all the way out here just to avoid anyone who might know differently. She's his niece, and she's carrying his child.
Holy fucking shit. Such evil this crisis has wrought to force a child on the daughter of one's own blood, unthinkable? Yeah, fucking disgusting. Why would he do that?
Heron's own wife's delivered nothing but hollowborn. Now he's got no heir, and his sister's child, Elise, is reaching the age to marry. Without progeny of his own, Heron's legacy would pass to her issue. So, he found a way to continue his own noble line by putting his child in this girl, his own niece.
And animancy is a part of your plan to destroy him?
This isn't just about Heron to the girl. It's about the corrupting influences of power and wealth. How people of privilege, people like Heron, are so often insulated from the consequences of their actions. The charged essence of dozens of maltreated slaves and underlings is already taking root in her mind. Once it's established, it'll drive her to murder her uncle, her aunt, and anyone foolish enough to get in her way.
They had me with them
Won't be able
up
to
until
look
this
away
point.
from Heron's sins
Alabama
then.
vibes. Jesus Christ. I was with them up until they pointed out, oh yeah, dozens of maltreated slaves and underlings are going to take root in her mind and then drive her crazy and make her murder her uncle, her aunt, and anyone foolish enough to get in her way. So basically, you've took an innocent and you've weaponized them for the sake of your plan. What's to stop you chicken shits from just going and killing her aunt, her uncle, and anyone who gets in your way? I don't like the idea of weaponizing an innocent girl just for the sake of like their plan. Do it themselves. If they want to kill someone, they should be the one to drive the dagger through their heart. Personally, I think. Seems like a lot of trouble to go to when a simple lynch mob will do. Exactly. They don't get a lot of things right, but this kind of thing they know what to do with.
I do not wish to destroy Nestor Herond. I wish to end his entire rotten line.
Then go do it yourself.
His name will become a curse among strangers. The deeds of his house will be eclipsed by his ruin. Foes will hear his name and shudder with pity. And any relatives who should survive him will abandon their fortunes just to rid themselves of the association. You're hot-blooded, willful, but there is no room for mercy and vengeance.
Well, maybe it's not my vengeance. Watcher, do not let this girl and her child become fodder for revenge. Let me touch her mind. I can free her from this snare, as well as from the memories that hold her captive. Don't even need to think about this. Do it. The grieving mother bows her head. Thank you, Watcher. You feel her reach out, persistent yet gentle. Aelis does not move. But the grieving mother trembles with exertion, and the air around her rings with the sound of chimes. At last she collapses, her energy spent, the strain throbs in her mind. For just a moment, Aelis's eyes close. When they open again, her expression is blank. But as she takes in the scene before her, you, Wymond, and the machinery in this strange dark room, her confusion turns to fear. She lets out a choked cry.
Kill them. All of them. If she can't destroy Herond, then we can destroy his legacy with her.
If she can't destroy Herond, then we can oh, so they're just going to kill her now. Good logic, guys. Good logic. Fuck. Right, okay. I'm assuming Grieving Mother is going to be out of this fight. It said that she was like... exhausted, right? Okay. Shit. Here we go. I think that confusion might have just made this much easier. What I'm trying to say is Kess just wiped out someone's memory. Kind of cruel, don't you think? That isn't the view that I took of it. We're not wiping her memory. We were wiping all of the memories of the slaves and underlings that were inside of her head. As for it being kind of cruel, I think it's even crueler to weaponize an innocent girl and then send her off to kill her family. I don't really think the idea of like if we're gonna put the cruelness on a scale, I don't know. I feel like it doesn't really all add up equally.
Beyond seek.
Such a loud spell.
bastard!
Oh boy. I think he just went nuclear. Damaged everyone. Let's go ahead and...
Follow your lead.
Your thoughts must flow deep.
What?
Okay. The young woman blinks at you and takes a few steps back. Stay away. I don't know how. She shakes her head and rubs her temples. What happened here? Let's tell her the truth. Or at least as much of it as we can. Skinite cultists kidnapped you. She looks around at the dead cultists and pools of blood, her eyes widening in fear and confusion. But what? She winces and pitches forward, holding her head. Hylia's wings, I can hardly remember a thing. She pauses, her brow furrowing. She mutters something in a dialect of Rawatai, then Valian. Ah, these are all the, I think these are the souls in her head, aren't they? My name is Alice. Her fingers dance at her side, plucking at the air in 3 repeated motions. Alir, the opening notes of the false night eye. Her twitching fingers brush her swelling abdomen. She looks back to you, a question in her eyes. I feel like it's between 2 and 3. She won't remember anything, even her identity. Did they say that? It was implied. I didn't get the implication at the time. But either way. Choice between 2 and 3. You're a young noble who was taken advantage of by unscrupulous relatives. You're a young lady who found herself in trouble with powerful people. Let's go with 2. You're a young noble who was taken advantage of by unscrupulous relatives. I also know I can't go back to the village, though I don't remember why. She looks around at the strange machinery, and I certainly can't stay here. You're free to go wherever you want, Alice, sorry. Find the road and keep going. There's a temple on the edge of town. I'm sure the clergy will help you find someplace safe. You should find your way to a big city, New Hiomar, perhaps, or even the Valian Republic, somewhere with plenty of opportunities. Find someplace remote, avoid the roads, and keep to yourself. You can't trust anyone. Oh, well, it isn't mine. There's a temple on the edge of town. I'm sure the clergy will help you find someplace safe. The suggestion sinks in slowly, but it seems to take root in the newly barren places of her mind. It's good advice. She takes a final glance at the blood-spattered chamber. I won't look back. She hurries away. Okay. Wyman's key. Erase her memory, then let her wander the world alone. I don't think there was any other option, was there? That is the most evil thing you've done so far. I feel like you're projecting, Darko. Listen, I said at the start of this playthrough that I will try to make the best decisions I can with the information I had. but I'm not really open for every decision I made being fucking questioned, okay? I'm just playing the game how I like the best I can with the information I have. I did not get the implication that like her whole memory was going to be wiped, okay? But I certainly don't think it was evil. Far from it. Ah, so this is where this goes to. Okay. After Kess makes his choice, maybe you should have a poll. Is Kess evil or something similar? Maybe we'll do that at the end of the game. You guys can decide what alignment option I would fit under. Obviously lawful stupid. We've established that, right? Right. Is there anywhere else in here that I actually need to explore? Looks like... Oh, shit. That's the back entrance, isn't it? Is it worth going back there? Probably. Let's try it. There might be some tasty loot. We're here to judge you. I will not be judged. I will not be judged. I'm too powerful for that, guys. You can't judge a king. Right. Let's go ahead and just send Grady.
Your thoughts must flow deeply indeed.
Fuck. Bad idea, bad idea, bad idea. Run, grieving mother, run! Let's actually pull back a little bit further. There we go.
Hey.
It's easy to judge when you already know what each choice leads to. I mean, yeah, that is another part of it as well.
Following your lead.
Hey.
Ooh woo. Wait, what was ooh woo worthy there? Fine, I will shut up. Darko, you don't necessarily need to shut up. It's just that, like,
I shot.
don't judge every decision that I make. Because like I've said, it is the first playthrough. And I don't really know what I'm doing. I just want you to stop explaining the consequences of Kess's actions before we actually see them. Oh yeah, I mean, there is a reason there's a no spoiler tag. I just don't want things to be... Like, I don't want to feel as though I'm making my choices based on information that I don't have available to me in the game, you know? I want this to be, like, totally... Well, as natural as it can be, if you get what I mean. I'm totally down for judging. Of course you are. I say Kess is mean just because he does not want to do a Lich playthrough. Oh boy. That's like that's one of the lesser reasons that I'm mean. I would argue. Maybe at some point. I've said this. It's the 141st game on the list of things to play, isn't it? The Lich playthrough. You would think it would be higher considering how much I enjoy Pathfinder. But we've got to do it in chronological order, as for when they're suggested. I think role players are divided into two main camps: those who want to project their best selves, and those who want to live out a power fantasy free of judgment. Well, Draxus, that's a pretty... yeah, I think you might be right there. I want to say there's a third camp, though, as well. I think that there very much are people who want to just be, like, the best person or do the goody-goody things. Like, there are people who want to play a game and just be like, make all the good choices and be a good person in the game. And there definitely are people who are like, aha, this is a video game, I can have unlimited power. But then I do think there are people out there who, like, kind of, maybe people who have a background in role-playing games in general, who enjoy having a character that they've crafted themselves, and they play the character as the character would be, like, as if they are true to the character, if you know what I mean. Like, they're role-playing in its truest form. 131? 131? No, 141. 31? Oh boy. No, it's much further down. Okay. Oh, we didn't even need to go around the back. Never mind. Never mind. So far, it seems there are very few good or evil choices. Yeah, I don't think there really are good or evil choices. I think that it's like I said when we got to Radric's Stronghold, it's very much the case that, like, every choice has some negative to it. Like, every choice seems to have some negative, like, in some way there is like a downside to the choice. It's like shades of grey. You can kind of see the logic for all of them. Yeah, 100%. Even with the stuff with Alis, then, like, there was sense to every single approach. But it's a mixture. Like, making the choices in the game is for me personally, is very much a mixture of trying to play the character as I think the character would play or act, but also going off of the information that I have, which honestly is probably less information than the actual character has. But even if you make your best judgment, the best judgment you can, it might end up awful. It very much could be. There is a third category, completionists. Ooh, are we counting completionists as role players? I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't count completionists as role players because they're not playing the game to enjoy the role playing aspect. They're playing it for the completionist aspect. You know what I mean? A Lich playthrough makes perfect sense just because you have a whole bunch of different companions with new stories, not just because it's an evil playthrough. Oh no, I fully understand that. There's like, is it five new companions? And then obviously you have to deal with the fact that you're going to lose, I believe, the majority of the OG companions, right? Five or six you don't remember? I know like 3 of them off the top of my head. But I know that there's like a couple more. It might only be 4, you know. Now that I think about it. 4 or 5, I think. Because I know that a portion of that was kind of spoiled for me whilst I was like post completion of the first playthrough. When I was doing a bit of reading to try and wrap my head around everything that had happened through the playthrough. God bless wiki articles. shit, are you kidding me? You can't fire through that. There we go, that'll do it. By the way, Toy Box is broken again with the latest patch. Is that even surprising at this point, Voices? Like, I feel like Toy Box is just eternally getting fucked up by the patches that they've brought out. I mean, it was certainly the case when I was still playing through it. You know? Like, every patch that was brought out, it was kind of a guessing game as to whether or not it was going to fuck up the Toy Box. And we would have to take, like, a week or two break. In fairness, though, I have to say the developers for the Toy Box mod, really good team, very quick working. I don't think I ever had to wait longer than like a week for an update. In fact, I don't even think I waited as long as a week. I think maybe like at times 5 days. That would be it. Definitely a solid team working on that. Oh, there's an entire portion that we didn't even explore. Yikes. Okay. So more bad boys. And no camping supplies left. Ooh. Doesn't feel good. Anything over there? Nope. Ooh. Where does this go? But I think if you disagree with a choice, just explain your logic as to why you would choose something else rather than declaring that a decision someone else was made. I mean, yeah, I think that's always going to be the case. I think it's very easy for like, it's very easy to kind of fall into the mindset of like, well, they didn't do what I would have done, and therefore like I disagree with that. But at the same time, I think it's much better to just kind of have a conversation about like what different choices are available and maybe not talk about spoilers so much as like what our reasoning is behind making those choices. And that's why generally when there's a big choice to be made in the game or in games in general, I am forever sitting for like 10 minutes and discussing the fucking choice rather than just making the choice. It wouldn't be a Kessler playthrough if it wasn't just me fucking sitting here and analysing the potential choices and what might happen as a result of those choices rather than making the choice. Because that's what makes someone feel judged in a bad way. I mean, I don't know if you can be judged in a good way, you know? I think that judgment in general I try to steer clear of in regards to the decisions I'm making. Like, I would much rather not have judgment, you know? Because it's a game. And at the end of the day, even if I'm making choices that, like, a large portion of people disagree with, there's a reason people are watching, you know? Because it's like, it's we get enjoyment from both playing the games, but also watching them, seeing how other people play the games. You know what I mean? What's better game design, says Veldraxis? Allowing tons of choices with little consequence or allowing few with lots of depths? 2 examples, Skyrim and Undertale. That's a difficult question because I really do believe that there has to be a middle ground, you know? I think when I think about games that I really, really enjoyed or have enjoyed, I really think that most of the time they hit that sweet middle ground between loads of choices and big consequence, you know? Choices without meaning are not real choices. Choices without real meaning in video games, I suppose, are the illusion of free will, I suppose, or of an open world, or, you know, something like that. I mean, when I think back to games that I played when I was younger that I really enjoyed, I've already talked about like the Fable franchise. I enjoyed the Fable franchise. I thought they were good games. I enjoyed them at the time. I didn't have too many complaints about them. Those games did not have a lot of choices. Like, you would get to a point where it'd be like, spare the bad guy or kill him, or, you know, save the town or become a corrupt tyrant of the town. And there wasn't a lot of choices, but every single one of those choices had some sort of in-game visible outcome, you know? Like, if you, I'm trying to think of a specific one. Like, let's think Fable 2, because I feel like I played Fable 2 the most. Like, there was a region in Fable 2 called Westcliff. And I think that's probably the most, like, visible outcome that I remember from the game. You could either invest money into the town or into the region, in which case, like, a town would pop up and there would be, like, loads of shops, like, new shops there after a period of time. Or you could not, in which case it would stay a shithole. So even if there are few choices to be made, I don't mind as long as there's some sort of consequences. I think choices without consequences can be useful tools for helping the player feel more immersed. I think choices without consequences in specific scenarios, yes. Like if it's like something of very minor value to the game, but if it's like, let's say you're finishing the game and you have a choice to make right at the end of the game, and it's the sort of game where once you finish the game, you can explore the world and continue adventuring or whatever. If that's the case, and there's a massive decision to be made at the end of the game, and it has no consequence, then it ruins the game for me. Like, if you can choose whether your character says things in a serious way or a snarky way or an aggressive way. Yeah, see, that's something that I appreciated in the Dragon Age series. It's something of little... It doesn't need to have a consequence, I suppose. You know, it's a light element. It's not like a hard decision to be made. It's just, okay, what type of person is my character? So yeah, I agree with it in that regard. Like, it doesn't affect the story. It's just who your character is. Sometimes it helps put you in your place. I.e., you're not a god. You can't determine the result of every single scenario. I think that honestly, Pillars does a very good job of that. Just through the idea of you know, not having shall we say, like a good option and a bad option, having all the different shades of grey. Like, realistically, you don't know the outcome. Like, you can make what you think is a good option and something terrible can happen. Yeah, like I think that kind of helps humble the player. Like, for the first time in a long while, I'm playing through this game, and I do feel kind of clueless about a lot of the choices I'm making. I'm just trying to go with my gut, essentially, with the information I have on hand. And for some reason, I feel like I feel okay to be clueless. I feel like I don't feel bad about, like, oh geez, if I'd only just read this journal entry or looked at this bit of the lore. Like, I don't need to sit and read through lore. I'm just playing the game, and I'm clueless in some scenarios. But the game does a pretty good job of either putting me into, like, getting me into the loop and explaining things to me, or of putting me in a situation where I can't really have any knowledge of what the outcome will be, which mirrors real life. Even if you do good things IRL, bad things can come as a result of that, you know? Not labeling the choices is a whole different aspect. In some games, I found myself choosing the good option just because I had a good character, not because I really resonated with said choice. And that's why that's what I meant when I was discussing the limitations of the morality and alignment systems that we see in video games earlier on. Sometimes it's better to just make, like, I found this with Pathfinder. Sometimes I think I basically decided on, like, I was a chaotic good character, right? My character was chaotic good. But a lot of the times I would make choices that weren't chaotic good because it just didn't feel like that was the options that were chaotic good were true to the character. Sometimes there is a thing as too much freedom. Oh, what's this in answer to? So Vildraxis says, personally, I dislike the thing about the Elder Scrolls series where you can be king of every faction. If you can do everything on one character, it makes that character and the world flatter. Oh, less unique and the world flatter. I do agree. I think that it limits replayability. I think it makes Skyrim or the Elder Scrolls series in general into a game where you play it once and you don't need to play it again until good mods get released. But yeah, no, I agree with that. Like, having too much freedom having no limits can be just as destructive as having hard set limits that stop you from doing things that you want to do in the game. But too little freedom or no freedom is a thing too? Oh, certainly. Certainly. Like, there are obviously, like, various extremes of it. Various extremes. So he's gone now. I thought we could come back and, wait, no, it still says he's here, but where? Is he upstairs? Oh, okay, he's resting upstairs. Oh boy, what are the chances that we're going to punish Harond for being a filthy man? So he's not in that one. There we go, there he is. Ooh. Oh, those are just two backers. Okay.
What are you doing up here? Unless... Have you news of my daughter? I've got to get her out of this wretched village.
I found Alis.
My daughter? Is she safe?
If I let him know that she's alive, he is going to chase her to the ends of the earth, isn't he? He is going to do anything to get his heir back. And for that reasoning, I am going to lie and say she's dead. Because then she actually might have the chance of having a happy life away from this fucking monster of a man. I think no freedom stories can be okay too. Like, lots of JRPGs lack choices. They know the story they want to tell, and you're just playing it. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with playing a game that doesn't have, like, freedom of choice. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes railroad experiences are fun. Like, there's plenty of games where, there's plenty of games you can play where you don't have, like, choices to make. I think maybe RPGs are a weird sort of genre where choice is favored, but with other genres, I don't think choice is really essential. Like, maybe small choices, like which route do you take, like which way do you go, like, I don't know, like you're playing an FPS, you're playing an FPS and you have to, I don't know, you're like storming a building. Which way are you going to go into the building? There's different routes that you can take. Okay, but they don't have consequences as such. They're just a little bit of flavor. Yeah, I agree. Not every game has to have loads and loads of choices. She's dead.
That can't be. What happened?
You can't get to her now, and that's what matters.
I don't know what you're referring to, but I've heard enough already.
We couldn't prove it even if we wanted to.
Take this, and let's put this unpleasantness behind us.
Go. I feel like he needs a spanking. No. If I kill him, then I feel like I'm the bad guy, And if I just demanded more money from him, then I feel like I'm just making it a money thing rather than a case that he's a disgusting human being. I think it's enough to know that his line's going to die out with him. Send Sagani. Can we go ahead and... nope, still got 1 hour to go. Yikes. Okay. Oh, we have dinged as well. Hey, grats, guys. We've dinged. All right. Let's go ahead and do we want law or do we want survival? Let's go with survival so we can get that damage reduction too. Greater lay on hands, untroubled faith. So +7 deflection and +14 on all defenses except deflection. Nothing wrong with a little vigilantism. Yeah, I know. Again, trying to be true to the kind wayfarer cause when I can. When I forget that I'm a, past raider. Let's go with untroubled faith. Okay. And Canal, what will we do with you? Well, I think we were trying to get up to 7 in survival for you as well, weren't we? So let's put another point in that. What does this do? So we have endurance, extra endurance. We have immunity to frightened, terrified for 28 seconds. An immunity to frightened, terrified on ourselves as well. That's okay, so that's charm. Okay. That summons will-o'-the-wisps, or will-o'-wisps. That summons 3 worms. Honestly, I think we might go with that. At the sound of his voice, the killers froze stiff, paralyzed for 11.2 seconds. Isn't that long, though? Then again, it doesn't look like we're actually going to get any higher than that. Okay, we'll go with that. Oh boy, did we get a talent? It doesn't actually look like there's any talent specifically for Chanter right now. So let's maybe take a look into defensive. Hold the line. I mean, the biggest problem I'm having with Canal right now is his survivability. Maybe. Extra deflection, weapon and shield. I think we'll go weapon and shield style. I think that works. Okay. Two tanks. No, one tank and an off tank, of course. We need an off tank. And he really fits the slot well, I think. I'm really enjoying actually having a stronger front line rather than having like a, front, second and third line. Let me see. So we're good for survival. I don't really see much point in law. Boy, I need 7 points to take up my athletics. Geez. Oh, God. Is he still wielding the door? He is indeed. He is indeed. Wait, Kess is a paladin, right? Isn't he the second tank? No, I'm more of like a DPS paladin. Well, that was the aim anyway. Do I really go into... I don't want to go into survival. I think that we've maxed it out at 7, really. I don't... I think I just save them for the next level. I think that's what I'm going to do. Save the 6 points for the next level. We'll maybe even be able to take athletics up twice from that, hopefully, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Bonus knockdown. That would be kind of handy. I'm running out of them in combat. Did we? I think we already took shield, weapon and shield style with it. When you rest, you can choose damage reduction free. Oh, does it go as far as damage reduction 3? Because it says after the 6th rank, the previously earned bonuses become more powerful in the same order they were received. Oh, you can go that way. Oh, I feel like it's a lot of points to invest. Yeah, because even if we do that, if we do that now, the next level we're going to have to skip the level to go up anyway. But you know what? Damage reduction 3 is probably worth it for the tank. I definitely remember having damage reduction 3. Not sure if it's scaled with level or just with survival. No, it is just with survival, according to the text. Yeah, we'll go with survival. We'll drop athletics off at 8, and we will go with survival from now on. Okay, what's unstoppable? Defense against blinded, stuck, prone, hobbled, and dazed attacks. Gracious retreat, superior deflection. Maybe just superior deflection, honestly. Let's go with deflection. Finally, after all these weeks, Cass finally listened to me for once. Voices, I listen to you all the time. All the time. I hear all the many voices in my head telling me what to do. I've done some terrible things as a result of your voices in my head. Terrible, terrible things. Unforgivable things. Oh, of course, we have Captain Goatee here. God, he looks so terrible. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. I kind of want to take athletics up purely for, is it the second wind? Like the bonus endurance that you receive from that? Like it would be really handy if he could just go ahead and use second wind to heal all the way up, or at least a major amount of endurance back from it. So let's do that. You started this game by ignoring the warning about the bear cave. I did the bear cave for a meme, okay? It was you know, I had to. I had to do it. I had to savor the mistakes that were made. It did not change until today. Actually, I think I probably started the game listening to your advice, because when I was talking about we spoke about character builds prior to me starting the playthrough, and I definitely followed your advice with that. He doesn't listen to me either, don't worry, otherwise we would be on our third Recetier playthrough now. He's too much of a free spirit. Yeah, guys, you just can't keep me chained, okay? You can't keep me chained. You'd have to have some really fucking big chains to chain me up. The sort of chains they would use on elephants, I would imagine. So that's dazed. Wait. Oh, I see. So this adds accuracy to it. That's weakened. 5 years from now, I will open your stream and remind you of the bear cave. Oh no. We never escape the bear cave. It's with us. Every night when I shut my eyes, I see the bear cave. I get the flashbacks. I see the stream through the eyes of the viewer. I do some serious dick ripping on account of Bear Cave. Bear Cave. That's all you need to say. Bear Cave. Bear's Fortitude. No. I think we'll just go with Painful Interdiction. So it makes them dazed and weakened. Let's do it. Be good to have them more susceptible. Rightio. Alof. Grieving Mother, funnily enough, is not leveled. I wonder why. Law is good. Maybe we want to take up your stealth. But then again... why not take both up? I think the idea is maybe to have Alof be able to replace Kanar as like the tricksy boy as well, and then switch Kanar out for someone else at some point. Maybe try someone else out. Maybe try, is it Pelagina or Pelaginia, Pelaginia or whatever her name is? Because we haven't actually had her in the party yet. I don't think, apart from for dialogue options. Like there was a quest, wasn't there, where we had to go and visit someone we knew, that she knew. Arriving Tentacles. Okay. Pull of Eora. Takes down the movement speed. Wall of Flame. 5 to 8 burn damage. Because he's normally out of the way, I'm not really seeing the need for spells that either give damage reduction to the caster or give some sort of defensive effect to the caster. I normally have him so far out of the way that it's not really worthwhile. Summon an Alof duplicate. Maybe. I'm thinking this for the time being. Let's stay away from the tentacles. What's Arcane Veil? Conjures a protective shield of magic. Okay. Concentrates the power of blasts, negating some of the target's damage reduction. Let's do that. Full DPS. Okay, down we go. Wait, what did these people want again?
Well met, friend.
They were wanting me to check the place out for suspicious individuals, right? Do you think they would count an entire cult of Sken as suspicious individuals? If so, I think we found their suspicious individuals. Dengler, anything new for you?
Hail and well met.
Nope, nothing at all. Sid.
Hail, traveler.
Perhaps another time. So, who was it we were looking for in Dyrford again? Or Dyrford? Dyrford? Oh, okay, yeah. It was the ruins that we need to head to. Okay. Let's do that then. Actually, no. I quickly want to go and visit the temple just in case Aelis is actually there, because we did point her towards the temple. I'm wondering if maybe there's like one last cowled man. Oh, I think we found the cowled boys. Medref. An elf idles by the road, watching the village across the river. He nods as you approach, and the cowled figures standing near him fall silent.
Welcome.
Greetings, friend. I've heard of you. Word has it you've been busy in Defiance Bay. I'm busy too, and eager to finish my business and get back to the city. What business is that? Haven't you heard? There's a murderer on the loose, said to have gone mad with grief and strangled a dozen healthy children with her own, when her own was hollowborn. He nods at the figures with him. We've come all the way from Defiance Bay to bring her to justice. She's here? She's hiding out in the village. We'd go in after her ourselves, but the problem is she knows our faces. There's no telling what she'd do if she saw us coming, and we'd like to avoid any further unnecessary bloodshed. Her name's Nifra, or Nifra. She's an Orlan. We want to get her out of town so that we can deal with her cleanly. She knows we're looking for her, but if someone were to convince her that it's safe to leave... If she's a mass murderer, why didn't the Duke send the Crucible Knights after her? The powers that be want to keep things quiet, for obvious reasons. Better not to cause a fuss, and certainly better not to startle her into doing something drastic. I'm not so sure about this. He lays a strong hand on your shoulder. A mad woman like that is everybody's problem, friend. Just keep an eye out. If you come across it, remember what I told you. I promise I'll make it worth your while. I have a few questions. What did she do exactly? She was responsible for the murder of all those babies in Defiance Bay, remember? Terrible thing, but we'll make her pay all right.
Greetings.
I do not trust these people at all. These are criminals. These are not like bounty hunters or the Duke's men. But then again, she probably also isn't telling the entire truth either. So, I think we're going to go and have a word with her, and then we're going to go to the temple. Good thing that I actually had the idea to go and talk to, go and visit the temple. Otherwise, I probably would have missed out on that. Well, at least until I eventually made my way back here. Right. Yeah, these guys are hooded as well, though, so what's...
Hail, traveler.
Someone told me you were responsible for heinous killings in Defiance Bay. Let me guess, was that someone named Medrath? She draws her stiletto. It's a lie, plain and simple. I got on the wrong side of his employers, and now he's after me. But if you're here to do his dirty work, I won't make it easy on you. Well, just relax. I just want to hear your side of the story. What story? The Dominells came after me. I fucking knew it. I just happened to rob the wrong place. How was I supposed to know they'd already claimed it? It was an honest mistake. I'm just trying to survive now. And if you spoke with Medrath, you know where he's waiting. Please help me get out of here. Go east. Medrath's waiting for you just west of the river. She nods slowly. All right, I'm trusting you. Don't have much choice. See if you can send him the other way. That should buy me some more time. She follows the hooded figures towards the stairs, giving you a final uncertain glance as she passes through the door. Okay. So now we need to go and convince him to go the other way. Which probably won't work. And will most likely result in him attacking us. That's my guess. Oh, I thought they'd fucking left then.
Feels like I'm wearing nothing at all. Nothing at all. Nothing at all.
Veldraxis, thank you so much for joining the party. Welcome. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Don't those thugs have better things to do than hunt everyone that has mildly offended them? I don't think it's that they've offended them.
Good day to you.
Have you found her yet? I'm ready to get out of here. She snuck out of the back of the inn and she went north. Did she now? And how would you have known that? The innkeeper told me. Said the bedsheets were hanging out of the window. She won't get far. He grins and hands you a pouch of coin. You've been most helpful. My employers in the House Dominell send their thanks. Let's go. Thanks. I like your style of streaming. I appreciate that, Veldraxis. Thanks very much. I really do. I really do. Yeah, I think from what people have told me or commented on during the whole process of me streaming, I think there's maybe something a little bit different about this. I talk a lot, which some people hate, and that's totally fine. Some people despise it. They just want to watch the gameplay. Personally, I'm kind of here for a conversation as well, you know? Holy fucking shit, Selby, that's incredibly generous of you. Gifting a tier wub, gifting a tier wub sub to Veldraxis. Wow, wow, we were. Thank you, Selby. Thank you. So we can make something else now. And I don't know what I was planning to make. Or build, should I say. I don't know. Selby says, I don't know. Vildraxis seems like the kind of nerd who belongs here. I want to say that most nerds belong here. I think this is just a meeting place for the general nerd population. Apart from Selby, of course. Selby will not classify herself as a nerd. Most of us wear the title openly and proudly. Build a brothel, says Voices. Wait, is that actually an option? Ooh, training grounds. A place to hone your skills in combat. Upgrading the grounds will grant a bonus to might. Okay. Craft Hall might be kind of good. Let me just start from the top and figure out if there's anything up here. So towers, perception bonus. Towers would be nice. I did say about building towers. Maybe we should try and get all of the options that provide bonuses first, and then we'll start expanding out into like crafters and traders and things like that. I'm a supervisor of nerds. I feel like Kess is more of a theorist. He's not applying his nerdiness in game. Maybe I'm just a man with all of the ideas, but none of the actual implementation of the ideas. He's not a min-maxer, if that's what you mean. I did get the I did build the Warden's Hut or home or whatever it is. I have not got a bounty yet, so that's another thing I need to remember to do. In fact, you know what? So I don't forget, let's do that after we've been to the temple, and then we'll go to the ruins. Or at least we'll make our way towards the ruins. Because I realise we've just hit 4 hours. And it is after 7 now. So I'm probably going to have to head off quite soon. That's what I was hinting at, but he didn't get it. Oh no, I got it. But whether I choose to acknowledge comments on me not being a min-maxer or not, and whether I realise that that's the purpose of what you're saying, are two totally different things. Totally different things. Besides, Voices, we've spoke at some length about the idea of min-maxing. And I don't think either of us are min-maxers, right? From what you said to me in the past. It seemed as though you kind of prefer roleplay, like the role-playing aspect of these games. Or at least I think what you said was, if I remember correctly, your first playthrough, you tend to play it for a role-playing perspective, and then after that, that's when the challenge starts to, that's when the challenge of playing on those harder difficulties and trying to min-max and whatnot, that's when that starts to set in. But I might be remembering wrong. It is entirely plausible. Let's do that. Body attunement. Damage reduction stolen. Okay. I was thinking about Mind Lance, wasn't I? I think we'll go with Mind Lance. Because I think I have already read through these. Oh no, I haven't. This is a new level. Or is it? Maybe it's not, but either way, Mind Lance. No. In my first playthrough, my priority is story over everything, but I still try to min-max within those limits. It would be horrible to make a wizard with free intelligence. Yeah, but I was going to say, you don't need to, in order to min-max, in order to play the game, you don't need to put free into intelligence, do you? I think I misunderstood what you said there, in all honesty. In my first playthrough, I prioritize story over everything, but I still try to min-max within those limits. It would be horrible to make a wizard with free intelligence. Do you mean that if you weren't min-maxing, you would be making a wizard with free intelligence? Or do you mean that that's a facet of min-maxing? Oh, I meant it as opposed to min-maxing. Oh, okay, I see. I understand. Wait, but a wizard's primary ability score is intelligence, so why would you put a free into? I mean, I get your point. I get your point. I'm going into the semantics of like what the actual class needs now. Oh, actually, though, isn't there a subclass of wizard that uses wisdom instead? Or am I remembering that incorrectly? Psychic backlash, 1 per encounter, stun for free. It's only 4 seconds. Well, just under 4 seconds. Maybe we want to go with. No, let's just go with psychic backlash. Well, not min-maxing doesn't mean you randomly choose silly attributes. It depends on the game, doesn't it? Because some games do force you to kind of bottleneck yourself in a way. I think Pathfinder was actually quite friendly in regards to like allowing players to min-max and it not being absolutely like bottlenecked. Well, from what I've heard, I can't say I've done any min-maxing myself. For me, min-maxing is more about doing research online to understand the mechanics and stuff more thoroughly. Yeah, I think like I've said this from day one. I am 100% immersed in story and like the tale that is spun by the developers, by the game creators, and I have very little interest in like. I like some difficulty, obviously. I want the game to be challenging in some capacity so that it stays fun. But I have very little interest in like trying to like beat a game on the hardest difficulty, you know? I'm not saying you can't play the game without seriously okay. You're pulling down the whole party and being branded a dick. Yeah, that is especially the case if you're doing it in person. Especially the case. So you don't need to min-max, but you need to read and know at least some of the game mechanics and class requirements. I think that's why Pathfinder maybe wasn't as ridiculously unfair as it might have been otherwise. Because even though I'm not entirely familiar with the Pathfinder rule set, I've played tabletop games, you know? So I have like a basic understanding of how it might work or how it should work, and then I can try and apply those things to Pathfinder. And in some cases, I was totally wrong, and it was like, okay, I need to learn this way of doing things because it's not similar to the way that I know. Min-maxing and metagaming, getting a bit conflated, possibly. I mean, to me, metagaming is more in a way, story-based, I suppose. To me, metagaming, and I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but to me, metagaming is making choices within a game, regardless of, using outsider knowledge from outside of the game, as opposed to playing in-game and making your decisions based on what you see, and, that sort of thing. Whereas min-maxing is specifically, based on the certain gear that you might wear or ability scores, things like that. Metagaming for Kess would be him listening to our spoilers. Yes, it would, which is why I try to ignore them or prevent them. One day to get to Cadnua. Let's do it. Min-maxing would be Adair, the tank, having high deflection and enemy engagement and a powerful shield. In fairness, I don't think I'm doing so bad in regards to Adair. I think he very rarely seems to actually get hit. I think his deflection's pretty high. As for the enemy engagement, I think I've got it as maxed out as I can. 3 enemies can be engaged by him. I don't think I can go any further than that right now. I think maybe next level I can. And a powerful shield. Is his shield terrible? If it is, I can give him a new one, but I thought this one was doing the job. I mean, we can take a look and see what I've got. Oh, wait. classed as weapons, right? Yeah. No, that's not as good. Well, it's pretty much the same, except it doesn't have the bashing property. It's not that bad, it's just a freaking door. So am I not min-maxing by opting to choose a door as a shield just because it's good? Totally ignoring the aesthetical values of it. Oh, jeez. It's a fashion crime, that's what it is. Ooh. You know what? I think I will switch that out for a moment. I don't know, doors are made to keep things out. I mean, that's a very solid point. Doors are made to keep things out. So, in theory, they should also serve as a great shield. Exactly a fashion crime. A crime against the fashionistas themselves. Boy. It's over on the far side, isn't it? Oh, wait, no, actually, it's outside. I think. There it is. Boom. That's the same reason you should kick the priest out of the party. I think priests are allowed to commit crimes against fashionista, the fashionista principles. You know, I think that's absolutely okay. I think it would be a crime if a priest actually had fashionable sense, or dress sense, should I say? That's when we have a problem. When he starts dressing like he actually knows what he's wearing. Warden Fierken?
Good day to you.
Good day to you, sir. I was wondering when you'd be dropping by. Kiff around here have been hit with more than their fair share of trouble of late. I'm up to my ear in bounty offers. Figured at least one of these might interest someone with your skills. What are these recent bounties? Now, I ought to warn you, young one, there's a reason these bounties are still on offer. These are tough bastards, every one of them. If you're not up to it now, feel free to come back around when you're better prepared. In the meantime, here's a good batch of stuff to start us off. There's the standing bounty on Sly Sidrell's head, of course. Then there's the forest lurker hunting the trade routes, and this ogre shaman should fetch a good price. And up is the last one, is War Chief Iklak. Who's Sly Cyrell? So it's from New Hiomar? Oh, so he's a criminal. Okay. A man matching his description was seen near Magran's Fork. Can I take them all, or can I only take one at a time? Josh says, it might be totally wrong, but in my mind, I only think of min-maxing during stat distribution and metagaming as knowing what others are doing to be optimal. Okay, see, to me, the first point you make about min-maxing being like stat distribution, definitely. But to me, there's also like, there's some element of first of all, leveling up. So again, stat distribution, but also perks and things or abilities that you take. But then on top of that, like I think the gear choices as well to some degree, you know, like let's say there's a piece of gear that has a debuff effect to one of your stats, but it also has a buff effect to like, let's say for instance, a dare, his shield is -8 to accuracy and what is it, like plus 16 or whatever to deflection. I think that's part of it as well. Like to me personally, metagaming as knowing what others are doing to be optimal. To me, metagaming, and I think this comes from like a tabletop gaming background, but to me, metagaming is always using outsider knowledge that you wouldn't know in the game. Like you're using more knowledge than just like what you see in front of you. You know, like I see the warden in front of me. And so I'm going to interact with him and I'm going to take some bounties. But then if I look over to chat, someone might say, oh, you can only take one bounty at a time. So only pick one that you want to do right now, you know, like that sort of thing. It's a shitty example, but it's the best I can do right now. Girl of Culture knows about transmog. I feel like you've built this warden hut a few streams ago. Did you forget to visit him all this time? Yep, I did. I played WoW for like 10 plus years. I'm not sure if it's specifically referred to as transmog in other games. Voices says to Josh, I agree somewhat, but sometimes looking up something like the enemy diversity in a game will save you from choosing an anti-fake class in a game with less than 1% fake. Yeah, that's a fair point. That's a fair point. To some degree, it is still like you know, it is metagaming, isn't it? You know, it is metagaming. But there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Like, yeah, like let me make that clear. I'm not trying to say that metagaming or min-maxing are bad things, you know? If needs must, and you enjoy, you know, doing that sort of thing, then so be it. I don't think there's anything wrong with either of those things. It's just not personally how I tend to... Jesus Christ, what is covering my eye right now? It's just not how I tend to play the games, I don't think. So, tell me about the Forest Lurker. So, taking up residence in Black Meadow. These must be pretty low level bounties then, right? Because they're all back towards Gilded Vale. Okay. Tell me about the War Chief. He's a Zaurip. If the name didn't tip you off, he moves around a lot, and he's known to haunt the Valewood. Valewood? From time to time? Is that the wood between Emerald Vale and Radrick's Hold? From time to time, folks want him dealt with before he takes up with a dragon. I can only take on the ogre right now. I'll be going.
Welcome.
I can only take on the ogre, so let's go ahead and let's do that. That's the one that keeps making the rounds. Nalren the Wise. He's some kind of ogre shaman. Oh. They say he's raided a half dozen farms all over the Dyrwood. Word is he's holed up somewhere in Elmshaw. That wasn't one of the options. This was not one of the options. I was given 3 options. And now there's talk of an ogre. Maybe I should have came here earlier on. Metagaming and min-maxing are both tools. If wielded correctly, they greatly enhance the gaming experience. Yeah, I mean, I think that I would say that metagaming is more of like a passive, if that's the right word, like a passive tool, whereas min-maxing is maybe a little bit more hardcore. But maybe that's just me. If used incorrectly, they lead to boredom and switching games. You can only take one, I remember. Well, I feel as though I've been given all of them. Yeah, I've been given all of them, but then there was mention of this Nalren the Wise. Like, I don't think... He didn't tell... He only told me about these 3 ones here. The Dweller in Black Meadow, War Chief Iklak, and then Sly Cyrodiil. But then when it came to actually picking one, the only option available was the Ogre. So... I think I've probably overlooked something there. But either way. We do have the bounties. So honestly, I don't know whether to... I don't know what the next port of call should be. I mean, I feel like going and doing those bounties. I feel like that might be an idea. But yeah, it looks like you can take like 3 or 4 at a time. You only have to hear about them for them to be stored in your journal. Okay. Ooh, tell you what I am going to quickly do, guys. Let's leave this place. Let's head towards Black Meadow. That's where the first bounty's going to be. But let me also just quickly tab out. Let me see. Here's a question for you guys. Is there anyone online right now that you guys would like to suggest for a raid when we end the stream? There was a quest I, for some reason, could not finish on my last playthrough of this game. I looked at the walkthrough and apparently it might have been bugged. I wonder if such things are patched by now. When was your last playthrough, Veldraxis? How long ago are we talking? Because if it was a fair bit of time, then I would imagine that it probably has been patched. But if it was recently, I don't know if they're still patching the game. Years ago? Oh, it probably has been then. But it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see if you hang around long enough for us to get to that point, wherever it is. we might be able to figure that out. I hope it has been. I hope it's been patched. 'Cause Jesus Christ. Check my keep. Thank you. Oh shit. You must travel. Oh fuck. Okay. Well, boy oh boy. Looks like we're going back to the keep. I didn't really try many, to be honest, but I enjoyed Fury Warrior the most. And play safe. The bounties are harder than normal encounters. Yeah, I figured they'd be harder, but it looks like they're well within our skill range or level range right now. I think that we're probably going to go ahead and load into the keep.
Stones and the spirits.
We'll make our way in here. That is there for next time, I think. I think we're going to go ahead and end the stream. Yeah, guys, do you have any suggestions for raid or for a raid? Or should I just go ahead and take a little look through Twitch to see who's online? I mean, I will say before we go ahead and do this, I will run the outro while we're raiding. I will also say, raid suggestion, play for 4 more hours. There's no way I can play for 4 more hours. Not today. I will be back on either I'm supposed to be back on Saturday. I'll make this announcement now, guys. I'm supposed to be coming back on Saturday. I have recently, within the past day, found out there's going to be some work getting carried out in my area. We might be without power on Saturday. If that's going to be the case and I'm going to be affected by that, then I'll try and get a stream on Sunday to make up for it. But I'm only really going to find out on Saturday morning, unfortunately. So, kind of annoying. But either way, I will go ahead and raid. Voice is incredibly generous of you, gifting a tier 1, a 1 month tier 1. I got there eventually. Sub to Jax. Jax, welcome. Welcome to you all who have joined us this stream. I hope you've enjoyed it. It's been fun. I'm really enjoying Pillars. It's so good. But yeah, we will go ahead and give the Lauron, or is it the Lauron, or is it Lauron? That's the important question. So they're a friend and they're playing Fallout 2. I think Fallout 2 could be a good switch, right, guys? You guys up for some Fallout 2? I actually haven't played. I think I played through Fallout 1 when I was younger. I own Fallout. I mean, I think I own all of them. Fallout 1, Fallout 2, Fallout 3, New Vegas, 4. I don't own. Oh, fuck, I could own even. It's 76? 76. I don't own 76 on the PC. Oh, the Lauron. Thanks for the streamcast. You've saved my mind after a horrible day. Well, I'm glad to hear it, Voices. Sorry to hear that you're having a shitty day, though. Glad to hear that I helped make it a tiny bit better, though. But yeah, we'll go ahead and give a raid to the Lauron. I will end the stream as usual. The outro will roll, and then we will head over and raid, okay? In fact, I will probably run the outro, get it out of the way, and then raid so that I can actually hear the stream, so I can end my stream and watch. Because yesterday we did, no, not yesterday, the day before, we raided, and I couldn't hear the first, minute or two of the raid. 76 is horrible. New Vegas 4 and 3 are good. Sadly, I haven't played the older ones. I remember 1 being pretty good. I think we'll probably try those out at some point. New Vegas was a lot of fun. I think New Vegas was a better RPG. 3 had a better setting, in my opinion, though. 4 was fun. I enjoyed playing it, although it definitely didn't have the same sort of feel as the other ones. Either way, guys, I'm going to run my outro. Until next time, keep on keeping on. Stay safe, be happy, and of course, goodbye for now. If you are with us, please stick around for the raid. Let's go ahead and give the Lauron some tasty, tasty viewership. And of course, guys, goodbye for now.